Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to sasportstar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at sasportstar.com. San Antonio Sports Center.
Happy NBA Day. The season begins today with 2 games on the docket. The Knicks Celtics can be caught on our sister station, ESPN AM 1250. In the NFL, Baltimore punished the Bucks 41-31. The Cardinals edged the Chargers 17-15 with a walk-off field goal. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Little Bitty Baby Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. I'm your affable host, AJ Hoffman, alongside my friend and colleague and cohort, the great Rob Thompson. Good morning, Robert.
Thank you for the tacos this morning, sir.
Oh, you're
Feeling
welcome.
well
Yeah,
fed.
thanks.
They were delicious.
I was late last week, and I said, you know what? I owe these guys one. That was the rule we made.
Mm-hmm. And you paid up, and they were wonderful. They were well made.
Of course, it also made me late today. But I think when you're late because you're getting tacos, it doesn't count.
Now you're getting it.
Yeah.
See, you can't explain it till you go through it.
Yeah.
We will forgive.
As I was sitting in the drive-through line, I'm like, I'm not sure I understand the purpose of this.
Was there anybody else in the drive-thru, or was it just you?
There was nobody when I got there. When by the time I got my food, there were 2 cars piled up behind me. I went to one of the 24-hour places here in town.
We can say them.
Okay, the Palenque place. Listen, this is my first time there. They're incredibly slow.
It's given the time.
At 4:30 in the morning, they are not prepared for an order of 6 tacos.
I'm not surprised, but yeah, you need to be. It's tacos. It ain't that hard.
I mean, seriously, it's eggs and bacon and
whatever. Yeah,
tortilla.
It shouldn't take. In fact,
and I didn't order any fancy tacos because I knew that if I did, it was going to be a nightmare.
Hold on.
Yeah,
you got to head to the freezer.
Can I get some guisada and some pastor? They're like, oh yeah,
Could you pull up?
Yeah, I didn't need that.
But they were delicious and well made. They were fat. I appreciate a fat little gordita taco.
There was a heft to the bag. Mm-hmm. Speaking of a heft to the bag,
which
I went and got loaded up on testosterone yesterday.
The confluence of these events.
My bag is going to be so hefty.
I don't find. See, AJ's going home.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I'm going home Thursday after the show.
So you're loading up the cartridge. You're flying home with a full clip, are you?
No, it's a drum.
I don't know.
The things that are going to happen over the next 6 days.
Yeah.
AJ's going to come back looking like a Skeletor, just drawn up, just sucked dry.
Now, worry not, fair listeners. I'll still be doing the show when I'm up there.
They won't know.
Yeah, you guys will. I mean, you'll be none the wiser.
Well, no, there'll be a certain calmness to his voice. There'll be a new Zen-like.
Well, yeah, that'll be me being awake at
like 2 a.m.,
3 a.m. Instead of 5 a.m.
But there will be a new and improved AJ. But I'm glad you went and got that. So, does your ass hurt? I say that in the
a little. I did like what Victor.
So where'd
does.
you go? Let's their
Game Day Men's Health.
Good folks.
Yeah, we'll be talking about them today. I went in and it's first of all, anytime I'm going to get any kind of anything medically done, I don't care if I'm getting blood drawn. I want it to be a clean comfortable place.
Well, that's a good rule. I would think we should all abide by that, unless you're in
but
an
how many
ER
people
situation. Well, I mean, sometimes you have no control because
Right.
you're going in the side door.
But if they're like, oh, go get your labs drawn at
Oh, yeah.
blank shop, and you
walk
go
in,
and you're
you're
like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I should not have any kind of open wound here. This is a terrible idea.
Which is normally what those places where you give blood look like.
Yes. Oh, here's where you'll be giving plasma right on top
Right
of
over
this this empty milk crate. We've made you a chair of milk crates,
Hey,
a
man.
throne.
I've done it. I'm not ashamed. I've been there.
But this place, game day, is super clean. It's right there in like the quarry area. It's not in the actual quarry, but it's like the surrounding
little
areas.
wraparound
Yep,
Strip centers.
on Bassey.
I know of where
And
you speak.
Even though my GPS calls it Boss.
Oh. I change the dialect of mine every now and again just to make life interesting.
Turn left on Boss. No, it's right there on Bassey, and they give you all a bajillion options, and you tell them where you're at. Like they first of all,
Did they give you a good look-see? Did you get a scan from top to bottom?
yeah. So the way this works is like most places you got to go. You go to the place, you give blood, and then they're going to run it off to a lab, or you have to go to a lab before you go to this place, and then in a day or two you're going to come back if if they work that fast, and they'll tell you your options, and then a day or two after that you could start. Well, this place, I was in and out of this whole place in an hour. My very first time.
Did your blood taker have a gentle touch?
She did. Yeah, lovely lady.
It's important.
And I have what they call the rolling veins.
Oh, man.
So I was like, I warned her.
What the hell does that mean?
It means like when you try to stab my vein's like,
Move out of the way.
not you, Bubba. You ain't getting me. And it moves. And
Is that a good thing? That sounds like a good thing.
well, no, it's not good when you're trying to get stuck with a needle because
Well,
it usually if
So where
somebody's
do
not,
they have to find a
no, they do it there. You just have to be experienced. I ain't having no rookies draw my blood because it's too difficult.
Yeah, I've had some easy, and I've had some rough.
And I've got very valuable blood. I've got the O neg. I've got my blood is
What is that?
O negative is I'm the universal donor, Rob. If your head
I'm
fell
O
off
negative,
right
too.
now, what?
Yeah.
That can't be.
My dad's O negative, so am I.
Wow, look at us. I think we're supposed to be like
Yeah,
1 out of
that's why.
50.
Well, yeah, it's family. It's a genetic thing.
I don't know what my kids are. I don't know. I just tell them I'm better
Well,
than them.
I guess, yeah, it's on my tag.
Look at us.
Yeah. I'm
Wow.
AB negative.
So yeah,
No, yours is
we're
useless.
coveted. We're good stuff.
Yeah, you got whatever. man.
We're like the we're like tonic water
Yeah,
or like soda water.
You've got no, we're magical potion.
Well, we
he's
can
got
be
he's
used
got
in
like
anything.
Modelo blood.
Yeah, Corona.
Kind of sour, little froth to it.
Yeah. You might want to put a lime in it to cover up
Needs
the
something
flavor.
else.
Yeah.
I need tahini. This got some tahini on here. What's
You need something. We need to address this better. Yeah, it was overall good experience. And like they did my blood, they checked my prostate levels.
Yeah.
but levels, not physically.
No,
Yeah.
I've already done that before.
Well, I don't know. I don't care about your home life, AJ.
I did that actually on the air. Got a prostate exam while I was on the air. I had to do it to convince my co-host to do it because
So-
he was,
He was
In the
neglected,
annals,
right?
okay.
he was
so,
of the age.
So
Yeah.
Minnick's got his.
He's got a vasectomy.
Yeah,
on
he
there.
got a vasectomy.
Oh, I
from-
got one too.
from Dr. Chop on air.
Oh, on air?
Yeah, he had it on air.
Oh, nice.
So you had your prostate checked on.
Yeah. And now my co-host, I didn't want him to die. So I was like, you need to get this done. He's like, I'm not doing it. I was like, well, I'll do it if you do it. And then now he died anyway. So it's unfortunately, I guess that happens to everybody as they all die.
Well, that's we're all
But
kind
he
of on a
didn't-
terminal list.
He
but-
didn't die of prostate issues, which I think is very important. So
Okay.
I did my good deed.
Well, you did. So they didn't have to do that yesterday.
No. They check your blood levels, and in that blood test, they also check your testosterone levels. And I was what they call
You're of the age where you're right there,
I'm in range.
like most listeners.
Yeah, and
They're
they're
right in
like, it's not the end of the world for you, but if you wanted a little boost, you could.
In my experience, you will feel it.
And I said, well, let's crank it up, baby.
Yeah. Well, good for you.
And so they do they.
Did they warn you of any side effects? What are the impending? You're gonna have to shave like twice a day.
But the biggest concern
No?
for a lot of men,
Mm-hmm.
hair loss. I said,
Not more, but less.
I said, oh,
Well, hey,
Yeah.
you're
we're gonna be all right.
Yeah, we're gonna be good.
We're gonna be okay.
As long as it's not patchy.
They were like,
Yeah.
you might experience hair loss.
Hot dog fingers.
If you want to have more kids, I was like, I've got a vasectomy. And they're like,
Yeah.
okay, well, so you're checking off, by being bald and having a vasectomy, you're checking off basically like the worst of the side effects. And
So
then they
what's-
tell me I'm going to have to like give blood.
So
Yeah.
what do you mean about the more kids? What was that going to be?
Like if they don't recommend you try and have kids while you're on the testosterone.
Because you'll give birth to like a Hulk,
I don't know. I didn't, I mean,
like X-Man of some sort.
I didn't even listen because it didn't concern me.
Yeah, we didn't.
Well,
Wasn't
I
my
find that
issue at
interesting.
that point. 'Cause I
we
was
don't
like,
want you
know,
to give,
I ain't having
father
no
a-
kids. I think it actually might be more difficult to have kids.
Oh,
Because
because all your little guys are fighting.
yeah. So
they're all revved up and fighting each other.
yeah.
Now
So
there's none
we'll
to
see.
fight.
My wife's in trouble.
They're just like, oh,
Yeah, your
like I
wife will be
said,
in
the
trouble.
confluence of several events and where this is leading is really spectacular. It's really good for all of humanity, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We got a lot to talk about today. NFL games last night. We're going to take a look at the. I found a list 1 to 137 of the college football teams. I want to see where some of the key teams are
Yeah,
ranked on this list.
Feeling
And-
pretty good about current lists.
Are you?
I am feeling good.
I feel terrible about the list I'm going to read you from
Uh-oh.
because there's a couple of nonsensical placements.
And we do have to celebrate appropriately, though we can't play the music. It is NBA Day.
Happy NBA
Happy
Day.
NBA Day. We have made it, all of our basketball brethren.
Here's what we're going to do in the
We've
8
made
o'clock
it.
hour. We are going to deep dive the NBA. We're going to give our final predictions. Not that mine really matter, but Rob is an NBA savant. He's going to give all his predictions.
I'm a savant.
And Edwin has given us his.
He's the savant.
As you can see here, Edwin came up with this list. I didn't get this list from him for ladies basketball. I don't know why. He says he doesn't differentiate. He's the only person who doesn't. I can't tell the difference between WNBA and NBA. It's just basketball to me. Okay.
He doesn't see gender.
Did you see the thing going around yesterday? Like there was like a minute and a half clip of back and forth in the game 5.
Oh,
It was
of
just
the
like
misses and-
nothing but dreadful junior high looking basketball.
It was.
It was all over the internet yesterday. I was like, yeah.
There was a
they
couple
were
where
like-
the ball didn't even hit the rim.
Yeah.
Like, hard off the back.
And they were like, oh, I can't.
What am I watching?
They were like, I can't believe this lost $50 million last year. How could it be? The quality is so good.
Well, yeah. I'm a defender, but that's almost indefensible because it was
so
silly.
bad. So bad.
It's hard fought, man.
Yeah,
I go back.
they're out
and
there
watch
battling.
a 1998 Knicks Cleveland Cavalier game.
Okay.
Not going to be much prettier.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's going to be, when you go to the free throw line and you're bleeding,
So
it's
this
hard
game,
to make shots.
This game that was 26 years ago, you're saying the ladies' game is only 26 to 27 years behind the men's game?
Honest to God, yes.
Okay.
I'm telling you, in the lifespan of large sports, they're about a quarter century behind the NBA. They're going through the very same growing problems the NBA did back when Larry and Magic came in. It was white-black. It was Caitlin Larry. It was
So you're saying 35 years ago.
But I'm talking about to 1980. They're 35 years behind.
Maybe, yeah.
And we went through, and they're going through exactly what I
45.
remember.
Yeah. Except back then, not everybody chucked bad three-pointers.
You'd be surprised.
Now, there was some bad three-point shooting, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, there was
But,
some
like,
terrible three.
in
We
the
only took one a game, but it did happen.
In the WNBA, apparently everyone has the freedom to shoot three-pointers.
Well, it's an egalitarian
It's
league.
like, well-
the ball's smaller.
Yeah, I'm standing here. I've got the ball. Might as well. Oh, it hit somebody in the third row. That's too bad.
Threes are better than twos, unless you're missing all your threes.
All right. But we got plenty to talk about with the NBA. I got to tell you about Underdog. Underdog it's where you need to go if you're looking to make some money on these games. They've got 5 million happy players across 33 states, $2 billion won. I've already gotten some of that money. I've already gotten me some underdog money, man. I like to play the pick'em game where you pick, like last night was awesome because there was a couple games to choose from. You choose higher, lower on a couple stats, and every time you pick someone else, your multiplier gets bigger. And if you want to switch up sports, you want to do a football game with a basketball game, no big deal. You want to do a college game? We got you. Underdog puts the power of it in your hands. You can do the win now button. You can cash out whenever you want, which makes it fun. And guys, I'm excited to be doing this. This week on Underdog, I am going to be looking at some college games, and of course, I'm going to be looking at NBA. I'm going to be jumping into it. And every once in a while, they give you a free pick, which is basically a sure thing. Like last night, I got the Kyler Murray over a half-yard passing. Basically, it's basically a short thing. How could he not have more than a half yard? Of course he was having a half yard. It was too easy. So, guys, this season, Underdog's running a special promo or bonus almost every single day. Profit boost, discounts, those free picks. It's currently Boostober from now until October 27th. Boost your profit on all NBA entries by 20%. Underdog's got you unlimited profit boosts on these basketball picks. Download the app. Sign in with promo code ALAMO. Deposit now to get $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code ALAMO. Must be 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We now have a closure this early morning. Very serious crash on the north side on 410 westbound. Nacogdoches to Broadway shut down. Fatality accident. Traffic is stopped from Perrin Vital, so it looks like they are forcing traffic to exit onto the frontage road. Again, this is Loop 410 westbound. Nacogdoches to Broadway right now, about a 20-minute delay. 35 southbound, Tupperwine on down to O'Connor. That's road work. Roadway reduced to one lane. That's a 25-minute commute from Pad Booker Road. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, my daily fantasy game. In fact, mine and 10 million others are playing this every day because we know what we're doing. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on your sports action. Join me and so many others playing every day. You know why? Prize Picks invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Look, you know your sports. How many yards is CeeDee Lamb going to get this week? Is Jonathan Taylor going to get 85 or more? You know what you're doing. Go make your play. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which players aren't? You know you play fantasy football. Put your knowledge to work. And remember, use the code Alamo and there's $50 in it for you. Download the app now. Use Alamo. Play with your friends. It's the best way to have fun and get yourself in the game. Remember, Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can add to big payouts. Download the app today. Prize Picks. Run your game.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
It's football season, and Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for all the action on the gridiron. With a game-changing rewards program, plus an amazing selection of tickets, Vivid Seats ensures that every fan can catch their favorite teams and players in action. Vivid Seats has you covered with deals that cater to every football enthusiast. And all tickets come back by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy. The XPS 16 from Dell Technologies with Intel Core Ultra processors help unlock AI possibilities. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/credit.
And Doug.
Customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. After that, you can also save me, as I'm currently hanging from the edge of a cliff. To recap, number 1, customize and save. Number 2, time allowing, save me. Shoulders separating!
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary, underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Methodist Care Now Urgent Care has over 19 locations throughout San Antonio, open 7 days a week. From injuries and illnesses to school and sports physicals, Care Now Urgent Care is here to help you feel better fast. Find a location near you at carenow.com and use our convenient web check-in today.
When I wake up
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Morning Huddle 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star on a Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We had Monday Night Football last night. Had a bunch of it, actually.
Well, depending if you wanted to take the time to go to ESPN Plus and watch
I did.
there.
I bounced back and forth. And quite frankly, it was a more competitive game by the end.
But you own the Magic Box, which allows you to pop back and forth. For those of us who are app-driven, it takes so long by the time I leave one, exit out, go find the other, open up, get to, open yes, beginning, middle, resume. I've already missed. It's not even worth it.
No, but you have ESPN Plus, right?
Yes.
You can watch the regular game on ESPN Plus too. Though you can watch ESPN through ESPN Plus. So you could have watched both games on your ESPN Plus app.
I could have, but I was watching. No, I guess I could have, right?
Yeah.
But I was on Fubo, my normal one.
Yeah,
for
you don't
one
need to
of
do
them.
that.
And then I was popping over to ESPN Plus. I did that about 3 times, and I figured it's not worth it.
You did an unnecessary step.
Let's see, I'm a neophyte to this thing, but
I'm sorry.
It was a feeble attempt to grow subscriptions.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It annoyed me.
I'm sure the guy who came up with this grand idea is in the office today, going, "We got 84 new people to sign up."
I think seriously, I don't know how many people they jumped. I guess they now own the greater Phoenix area. The subscription skyrocketed as the game went on.
What's funny is they picked the 2 teams that have like no fan bases.
They're national brands, AJ.
How are we
national
gonna do
brands.
Let's how's this gonna work? When are Cardinals and Chargers fans gonna sign? Well,
there's not any of
those
them.
teams don't have fans per se. I don't know.
They're all Raider fans now.
I don't know anyone who's like a diehard of either of those teams.
Me either, honestly. I don't know anybody. I know people that wear Chargers gear just because it looks good.
But if I said, what's your favorite team, they would not say the Chargers.
No, if they're from San Diego, they're going to say the Pods. You know what I mean? They're not even going to say the Chargers.
Yeah.
And nobody from L.A. even knows they're there.
If they're from L.A., they will say the Raiders probably. Maybe they'll say the 49ers. I don't know. But they ain't saying the Chargers.
It appeared to have been a good game.
It was a competitive game.
Right. Never confuse competitive with good. Yeah, it was competitive.
And we could start with that game. It was a defensive struggle to say the least.
17 total points on one side to win
17-15, yeah. It was first to 17 is the winner.
Yeah, and it took all game to do it.
The Chargers scored 0 touchdowns, but they have a really, really good field goal kicker.
Sounds like another team that I'm a fan of. I want to ask the question that is now needs to start being asked. At what point can we expect Justin Herbert to do anything of merit?
Justin Herbert was actually phenomenal last night.
Well,
they didn't score any touchdowns.
Gallant in a loss is just Archie Manning.
I get it. But threw for 350 yards in a competitive game. And this is the first time really that Harbaugh's put it on Justin Herbert to be like, hey, take a game here. Let's do this.
Right.
And, of course, oddly, he chose the time when his top 2 wide receivers were out. Quentin Johnston was out. Like they had wide receiver issues.
Has he ever had healthy wide receivers?
No. And so what he did last night was, and he threw to Will Dissly, his like kind of slow white tight end, 8 receptions, 81 yards, career highs for Will Dissly.
So he is the fantasy gold this week.
He had 13 receptions on the season coming into the game, had 8 last night. But Justin Herbert was really good. The defense was really good, but the Cardinals' defense was pretty good too, and especially when it got, you got inside the 20s, things tightened up. And the Chargers just don't have answers yet for what to do inside the 20s. I will say this. Chargers should have won that game. I know I bitched about the officiating in the lady basketball game yesterday.
The call you showed was
the Cardinals kick a last-second field goal, a time-expiring field goal to win the game after the Chargers had gone up. They'd taken the lead with a minute 54 to go in the game.
Take the lead?
Field goal. That's all they did was do field goals.
Field goal, take the lead. Arizona has the ball, middle of the field.
No, they were way backed up.
Okay, so there's a pass down the middle of the field.
Well, pass to the sideline, and it's broken up.
And by that camera angle, it looked like a brutal hit. On first glance, when I saw it, I went, "Ooh!" But on replay, the guy didn't hit him.
No, I mean they bumped shoulders after the ball was missed. After the guy missed the ball, but they didn't call a PI. They called unnecessary roughness.
And that would have been the right call if he would have hit him, but he didn't hit him. And the video, I didn't watch it live. I watched the video and the replay. Within about, 10 seconds, I knew the answer.
That was a massive penalty.
Well, somebody explain to me what the video review is for.
That anything unnecessary roughness is a judgment call.
I see that.
Still. And that's weird because in college.
It's just so aggravating.
In college, if there's targeting, they can review it.
Well, did at any point the Cardinals or the Charger fans throw bottles of water on the field?
No, it would have been a good idea.
Did they give the refs an opportunity to reassess and evaluate not only their safety but the game itself?
Unfortunately, the Chargers were the road team.
Oh, so they didn't have any bottle help.
So in on that field, there were in the stadium there were 20 Chargers fans, 38 Cardinals fans, about 60 Cowboys fans, and 60 Raiders fans, and that was the extent of the crowd. So that was
whoever was there should have slowed the game down to give the referees a chance, an opportunity to kind of reevaluate where they were. That was a terrible call. And if we're going to do that, again, I don't understand why we can't get this right. How are we still dealing with this?
Dude, what they say is the whole purpose of this is to not let.
I'd rather be wrong.
Don't let things decide games.
I'd rather be wrong and bitch about that than know I was wrong.
Yeah.
Or no, I was right. I'd rather just never see it. It'll be the Franco Harris immaculate reception. We'll never really know. We'll hear 2 or 3 stories for the rest of our lives.
The toothpaste out of the tube on that, though. We can't do that. We can't undo what we've done.
I didn't even see it. I wasn't even privy or part of the game, and it pisses me off. I'm not even part of it.
So you're just like, the Cardinals won the football game. Okay. But if you saw how the Cardinals won, and this wasn't the very last play of the game, but this was a 2nd and 10 backed way up in their territory. that it was about to be 3rd and 10, and now it's a first down, almost midfield, and the whole game changes. So, and we're talking about in a 1-point game.
Well, I didn't have any fantasy value derived from any of it, so, I'm just kind of an interested bystander, but that sucks.
It's funny. I almost bet on the Chargers. I'm so glad. I would have been furious at that.
It looked like Kyler was in his bag.
He had some ups and downs.
I saw a 44-yard run. I saw a nice little couple of dart passes.
He did run a little bit. He threw an interception on this was the Chargers night also. Kyler on the first drive throws an interception to a fat guy. Fat guy's running. Fat guy's running down the field.
I saw that.
They punch it out and take it right back. Then
for a brief shining moment, though, he was Emmett. For a brief shining moment, he was Emmitt Smith. Mama, did you see me?
Then Justin Herbert finds a dude on the ensuing, like they get the ball back. Herbert finds a guy, finally, one of his sorry-ass wide receivers breaks wide open. Dude should be walking into the end zone, gets the ball punched out, it goes through the end zone, touchback the other way. Like, Justin Herbert he's got to be the nicest person in the world for not cussing these other players constantly.
But there comes a time when you become that. It rubs off on you, man. It does. At some point, you're going to have to overcome the ineptitude of your surroundings, or you become Phillip Rivers or Archie Manning or Fran Tarkington or Jim Kelly. I don't
think Justin Herbert's anything more than that. I don't think he is.
Okay, well then, if we're willing to accept that, then let's carry on.
Yeah, I tweeted this last night, and I think this is the most accurate representation of Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is nowhere close to the best quarterback in the league, but Justin Herbert is the best football thrower in the world. Like, when you talk about...
Ooh, that's a bold statement.
When you see the way the ball comes out of it, like,
I agree.
And there's throws he makes that I go, what are you doing? And then it's on a button. I'm like, dude, this guy is the best football thrower in the world.
Because in my mind, it was Joe Burrow, a fully functioning and healthy Joe Burrow right now. I feel like
he doesn't have the juice like Justin Herbert. He's got little bitty baby hands. He's got a hurt wrist. Justin Herbert is he's a robot.
Well, he's planning on
an arm robot.
He's going to be a boy band singer.
Joe Burrow's as boy bandish as Justin Herbert.
Well, I was talking about Joe Burrow. Okay. Joe Burrow's planning on a post.
Justin Herbert's got a beard now.
He's
a
fill
man.
in for that dude that was doing pink cocaine down in Venezuela. Which is what a name that is. He's going to take that gig over.
We'll talk about the other game on the other side, the Ravens and Tampa Bay Bucks. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We now have a closure this early morning. Very serious crash on the north side on 410 westbound. Nacogdoches to Broadway shut down. Fatality accident. Traffic is stopped from Perrin Vital, so it looks like they are forcing traffic to exit onto the frontage road. Again, this is Loop 410 westbound. Nacogdoches to Broadway right now, about a 20-minute delay. 35 southbound, Tupperwine on down to O'Connor. That's road work. Roadway reduced to one lane. That's a 25-minute commute from Pat Booker Road. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, Jerry Jones back on the radio. A lot of reaction there, I know. Can't wait.
We'll talk about that and look ahead to San Francisco with Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk. She joins us at 5:15.
And how about those Houston Texans? A tough one in Green Bay. Indy Kalu's going to have a lot to say about that when he joins us at 3:30.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
George gets justice. When you've been injured, you need to get George Salinas Injury Lawyers because you need someone who understands your pain and the impact an accident has on your life. You need someone who listens and is always there fighting for you and your future. When you get George Salinas Injury Lawyers, you get all this and more. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. And remember, you won't pay anything unless they win your case. Call George Salinas at 210-225-0909. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Order for Jennifer C. Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? 'Cause I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tinted to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 11 locations and check out our tractor package deals. We're offering 0 down and 0 APR financing for 84 months or up to $3,300 off select compact tractors. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package specials at ewaldkubota.com.
Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Hey guys, it's AJ from the Morning Huddle. Between us, when you hit a certain age, things start to feel a little off, right? You're tired all the time, your energy's low, maybe even your drive isn't what it used to be. And a lot of that comes down to testosterone. And trust me, it can happen to the best of us. That's where Game Day Men's Health comes in. They know how we feel, and they make it easy. Game Day Men's Health is over there on Bassey Road, across from the quarry. Their office has a relaxed man cave vibe, and they've built a 3-step process that's quick and designed just for us. First, get your T levels checked. Free testosterone test at their in-house lab. Then, you meet with a licensed provider to create a customized plan. And finally, you'll get those fast weekly treatments. After a month, you're going to notice a difference. More energy, better mood, and a kick in your libido. Don't settle. Be the best version of yourself. Call Game Day Men's Health, 210-900-3691. That's 210-900-3691. Feel better, be better at Game Day.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Ravens get another win.
Boy, they battered. It was a physical beating in the
It
second
was.
half. The last 4 minutes, not so much, but most of it.
Ravens moved to 5-2, joining the Texans, Steelers, and Bills at that record. The team's looking up at the Kansas City Chiefs in a shocking development.
You know, I think it was in the very recent past. The days bleed together. He said, you know what? I'm liking Derrick Henry here for MVP.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're probably right, though I still stand by my premise that no one will not vote for Lamar to vote for Derrick Henry. But I do think that the reason Lamar looks so absolutely spectacular is because everybody's scared to death of Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
That 21 miles an hour.
At that size.
That's like tackling a rhinoceros. I mean, that is ridiculous. When you've got guys the level and size and speed of the NFL who are afraid to tackle this cat.
Mm-hmm.
He's the MVP. Now, he won't get the votes.
No, probably not.
But because Lamar's there. But they are not what they are but for Derrick Henry.
I think he was worth a 40-1 stab.
I think he is, man. What he did last night was, it was like watching the big 8th grader.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The dude that already has a mustache and just like, well, he's going to win the game. I don't know how many times we're going to give him the ball, but it'll be enough.
I had one of those kids on one of my baseball teams. He lived in Sealy, and he would come in when we had big tournaments. He would come in and play with us. He was kind of a ringer, but he was a 14-year-old kid, but he was a grown man.
Yeah, a man-child.
And he was in 8th grade, and I said, "Oh my God, this guy! Imagine being on the football field with this kid and trying to tackle." He was like 6'2", 210, and like solid, and fast. And I'm like, dude, imagine an average 8th grader trying to tackle him.
Well, that's what Derrick Henry looks amongst professionals.
That's what it looks like, dude.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So your premise is right. I think there's just another bigger name in front of him, but. Because even by the end of the game, Troy was saying MVP. I mean, both of them were.
I don't think they're going to give it. I don't think he's going to get a third MVP.
I don't either. But man, oh man,
especially because he shouldn't have got the one he got last year.
Yeah, but
they're going to hold that against him.
But see, here's the problem. This year, you can justify it. At least last night, he was brilliant.
He was.
Really was.
The Ravens looked good especially once they started rolling. Early on, it looked like Tampa was going to have something. Baker was cooking, and
they lose Evans, and that changed the game. As soon as Evans left, the double teams didn't have to go that way. The running game has always been a little suspect, and the MVP caliber Baker was kind of overshone with the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. There was a couple of the other Bakers. Showed up. There was a one interception in particular was just so god awful.
The one that he had 15 seconds to make a decision, and then he made the worst possible decision.
Man, there he is. There's the guy we all know.
And then he goes, "No! Oh, I can't believe I did that." It's like, Baker, we've been seeing you play for about 6 years. Of course you did that. That is the gift and curse of Baker Mayfield.
Oh, we love you. The thing is. Thing about Baker is he knew he effed up. I mean,
of course he did.
He's not going to deflect, but dude, it couldn't have been any worse or at a worse time because they were still had a fighting chance at that moment. And then my guy Godwin goes down. And yet we have 2 gruesome injuries in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
right?
Pretty gnarly stuff.
Oh,
no, I just I think the Ravens are the team to beat. Defensively, they look really good. It's hard for me to argue against them. They seem like they are the most complete team, and I know Chiefs are 5-0. I get the Chiefs beat the Ravens.
I think we've separated. I think my count was we've got 7 teams that can we've got 7 that can pretend, and we've got 5 that can contend.
Okay. Kansas City
can contend.
Baltimore
contend.
Buffalo,
I have them pretending.
Ooh. Detroit
contending.
Minnesota,
I'm wavering, but I'm going to say pretending right now, just because of the Darnold effect. But right now they're contending. But I just think he'll at some point the Sammy we all know and love will show up.
You have the Texans contending?
No. I think they're not.
I don't know who your last one is. Or you got 2 left, don't you?
Yeah, I've got 2 left.
But I said Baltimore, Kansas City, Detroit. You like?
Those are the 3 that are fighting for 2 spots. Behind that, Minnesota. I'm brain locking here. The
Dolphins.
That's it. 2 is back. No. Help me out here.
The Raiders.
The Raiders are in there. No.
It's not the Steelers. You can't possibly think
the Steelers.
Green Bay? Seattle? San Francisco still?
I'm still putting San Francisco.
At
some point,
Brock Purdy sucks.
At some point, they're going to get healthy and get in the wild card. I think they're one of those teams I'm not going to throw out, just like Kansas City. They're not 5-0, but they're 5-0. So.
See, that's the thing. So Brian says, "Damn, AJ, you're glazing that dude way too much. He has to do better. He can't even lift his team to win, just like a Prescott." Who's better, Brock Purdy or Justin Herbert? Because there's no world where you can convince me Brock Purdy's a better football player than Justin Herbert. I will not believe it.
When you say better,
who's better at football?
Well, you got to quantify that.
No, who's better at football?
Right now, I'll be real honest with you. I would take Purdy, all things being equal, because he has won a game.
Okay, now let's play this game. You are an expansion drafting team.
See, there's a different premise.
No, who do I want as my quarterback? I don't get to choose the rest of my team yet. Who do I want as my quarterback?
That's a different premise. If we're all
that's what we're saying. Who's better? That's the who is better?
There are winners that aren't physically as gifted. Is what
if I say what's better, Dr. Pepper or Big Red, and you say, well, it depends.
It does depend.
It depends on if I'm having barbacoa or not.
That's exactly right.
Okay, but I'm just saying, what's the better drink overall?
Overall, depending on where I am.
No, overall, Dr. Pepper is better than Big Red.
But there are intangibles that I think always matter. And when we go, well, that guy's better. Well, obviously, Justin
Intangibles like being on a talented team with a great coach?
Yes.
Yeah, that's ideal for everybody.
But there are some guys that just win.
Yeah, they win when they've got better players around them.
Well, I mean, mostly. But when you're just charging physical attributes, the greatest of all time wouldn't even qualify.
And by the way,
I'm saying?
At this point, Justin Herbert, Brock Purdy, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, they all have the same amount of Super Bowl rings. Freaking none.
They're all the same guy.
So I'm just saying.
But starting a franchise, yeah, I want the big, strong kid that can throw the ball 50 yards on a dime. I'm taking Herbert. But from what I know right now, given all things being equal, I believe Purdy is more capable of winning one because he has. Now, I'd won a big one, but he's gotten him a lot further than Herbert ever did. Now, granted, with a lot better talent and far better coaching.
I can't imagine a world where I would say, you know who I'd rather have on my team? Brock Purdy.
Well, I could say this. I wonder what that offense would look like with Herbert.
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean? You wonder if it would even function because he would overpower the idea of the variables of, the McCaffrey and Debo.
But we're seeing now that he can play in the role that you need him to. You need him to be a running. This is the first game he's had over 250 yards all season.
I agree. Whatever it is, find the idiom that you can win with. Whatever it is. But at some point, dude, I'm tired of the guy with the most potential that just doesn't have enough around him. At some point, you got to do it on your own.
You saw Jalen Reagor fumble that ball yesterday. What can he do?
There's always reasons and excuses. Reasons make sense. Excuses, everybody got them, but it doesn't matter. But at some point, you can't have either. At some point, no more reasons, no more excuses. You got to do it or you're never going to do it.
But at some point, you put Brock Purdy on these Chargers, and I'll tell you what he is. He's Tim Boyle.
But he has done it, no matter the circumstance, and Herbert hasn't.
All right, we'll be back. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Dr. Jacob Torres is now a friend of mine. How often can you get to know a physician and have them become your personal friend? That's the kind of relationship he has with his patients. I'm not saying he's going to be your best friend or your buddy. That's kind of a thing between us. But I will tell you, he's a guy that not only cares for his patients as a physician, but he cares for you as a human being. And that's why the term functional rolls in to his entire practice at the Institute for Functional Health, because what he believes in is a total health, whether it be from the neck up, neck down, and everything in between. And weight loss certainly falls into that. If you're in a place in your life where you're just not feeling good, whether it be not sleeping well, you're brain fog, the joints hurt because you're way too much, digestive issues, you know what I'm talking about. If you're tired of that, weight loss is the first and easiest answer to the issue. And Dr. Torres, not only will you fix that, but many of the other issues that go along with being overweight all just seem to melt away along with the pounds. But you need to talk to him to find out how he does it and why he's been so successful with people like you and certainly people like me. The number is 210-468-1891. His website, iffhealth.com. Use it. Go there. answer the questions he asks, read about what he believes in and why he's been so successful. Listen to me. If it's time, you know it. Get yourself the number. Call him today. Talk with Dr. Torres, but start on a program that you can live with for a long time. And when you do, I'm sure you're going to bring your skinny butt over and thank me later.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
For these guys, it makes so much money. Scheffler just keeping his little pouch, giving it back to Tony. Oh, yeah. I want to be rich like that.
If I'm Scheffler, I'm like, all right, what do you say? I got $1,000 check. I owe you $600. Write me a new check for $400.
That's just
give me a blank check.
Oh, my gosh.
Good Lord.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom. Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, my daily fantasy game. In fact, mine and 10 million others are playing this every day because we know what we're doing. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on your sports action. Join me and so many others playing every day. You know why? Prize Picks invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Look, you know your sports. How many yards is CeeDee Lamb going to get this week? Is Jonathan Taylor going to get 85 or more? You know what you're doing. Go make your play. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which players aren't? You know you play fantasy football. Put your knowledge to work. And remember, use the code Alamo and there's $50 in it for you. Download the app now. Use Alamo. Play with your friends. It's the best way to have fun and get yourself in the game. Remember, Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can add to big payouts. Download the app today. Prize Picks. Run your game.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Morning Huddle. I'm Rob. AJ's sprinting behind my back as we speak. But we really only have about 45 seconds. You really didn't have to run back. You could have taken your leisure. You could have skated on in because we're about to head right back out.
I know. I'm not great at keeping the clock in hour number one.
That first hour just kind of runs away from us.
Matt says he's listening from Dresden, Germany. He's not coming back until the Raiders win the Super Bowl.
Well,
it was good knowing you, Matt.
Hope you enjoy your stay there in Dresden.
Yeah. Welcome to German citizenship. All right. When we come back, we're going to take a look at this college football ranking that The Athletic did and see who's too high, who's too low, who we're bitching about. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
TFM Floresville. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We now have a closure this early morning. Very serious crash on the north side on 410 westbound. Nacogdoches to Broadway shut down. Fatality accident. Traffic is stopped from Perrin Vital, so it looks like they are forcing traffic to exit onto the frontage road. Again, this is Loop 410 westbound. Nacogdoches to Broadway right now, about a 20-minute delay. 35 southbound, Tupperwine on down to O'Connor. That's road work. Roadway reduced to one lane. That's a 25-minute commute from Pat Booker Road. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday night at 7:20. After a bye, it's the first of two road games. Dallas and San Francisco taking on the 49ers.
I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 6. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
You asked for it, you got it. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
NCE General Contractors, based in San Antonio, is one of the fastest growing nationwide general contractors with a focus on commercial new construction, design build projects, building renovations, tenant finish outs, site upgrades, and building maintenance. NCE President Brian Ehrlich's a former Madison quarterback and proud to support high school football in San Antonio, building relationships first, then buildings that last. Learn more about NCE General Contractors online at ncegc.co. That's ncegc.co.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
911, what's your emergency?
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In San Antonio, 5 domestic violence calls happen every hour.
The time to end domestic violence in our community is now.
Step out of violence.
You are not alone.
Call 211 for help. Call 911 if it's an emergency.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? 'Cause I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
When I wake up
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
San Antonio Sports Center.
Happy NBA Day. The season begins today with 2 games on the docket. The Knicks Celtics can be caught on our sister station, ESPN AM 1250. In the NFL, Baltimore punished the Bucks 41-31. The Cardinals edged the Chargers 17-15 with a walk-off field goal. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle. Looking at the Athletic. They have a list. Call it the Athletic 134. Take a look at all 134 FBS college football teams and rank them, power rank them. And I don't know how many times they've done this. I want to say this is like the 3rd time this year they've done it. Maybe they're doing it every other week. And obviously, a lot of shakeup this week as the number 1 team. They were actually number 2 in the athletics poll. Texas was number 2. Dropped down. Georgia, who was number 3, moved up to number 2. Number 1 remained the same. They had the Oregon Ducks at number 1, and that's still who was number 1 on their list. So Oregon, Georgia, Penn State, Miami at number 4.
Living on a prayer.
They've been such a luck box. I think Miami is a top 10-ish team. Not a top 5-ish team. There's just that doesn't jive for me. Ohio State, they have 5. Texas, 6. I'm going to skip over number 7 for a second, and I'm going to say number 8 is Tennessee, number 9 is LSU, and number 10 is Clemson. Now, as you know, I do power ratings for my sports betting that I keep pretty good track on. Their list here is not insane.
No, but it's not about gambling.
No, but it's talking about what team. Like, my power ratings are, this team is this much better than this team, and that's what power ratings are supposed to be.
But that's not this. The name power rating is not it. This is the best teams in every conference ranked according to that. Because BYU is not a top 10 team at all.
They can't be.
They're not.
They are number 7 on this list.
On this list. So when I see that, I immediately go, okay, well, the premise, the idea is flawed. If you can put BYU there and Indiana is not. And I don't think Indiana is more than maybe 1 or 2 spots higher than where they need to be, but they would be there but for BYU. I discount quality of conference. I think there are some teams that should get more credit for losses, and I think there are some teams that should get more credit or less credit for wins.
Is the Big 12 significantly better than the ACC?
No.
Okay.
No. It might be deeper, but it ain't better.
So Pitt is number 19 on their list. They're 6-0 in the ACC. I'm not saying Pitt's way better than BYU.
That's flawed.
I'm saying that those two teams are a lot closer to each other, and they belong a lot further down the list than number 7.
And I'm a fan of Boise State. I like this kid. But to put them ahead of A&M or Missouri or Illinois that we just saw paste a team, and you got Illinois, Big Ten toughened at 21. See, this isn't it. This is all according to possible playoff berth and conference you're in, and there's some other things in here. This isn't an accurate representation.
The reason why I'm not sure of that is because of, like, first of all, some of the discrepancy between those unbeaten teams, and then there's some teams that, for instance, USC's 3-4. You could drop them wherever you wanted to drop them. They still keep them around 50
because of quality of opponent. I mean, they played some tough ass games both home and away.
Then
and
that's a power rating,
right? But this.
It just seems inconsistent.
It is. It's hugely inconsistent.
Now, the credit I'll give to Boise is Boise played Oregon within 3 points.
They did.
They almost beat Oregon. And if they beat Oregon, well, first of all, what it would mean, everybody would be like, oh, Oregon's not that good. They lost to Boise. But the fact that Oregon's the number 1 team on this list, I think that's Boise's best data point.
I think that's why they're there. And, a Heisman candidate, you never know. But when you see Vanderbilt, we know the win they had. We know what they're capable of. Behind Pitt, behind A&M, behind, and we could put Ole Miss right behind there. You're going to tell me that Ole Miss went from a top 10 team down to 23? Really?
Yeah. Well, and then on that same note, I look all the way to, I look at 43 and I see Oklahoma. There's no way Oklahoma's the 43rd best team in the country. They're not good.
The good news is we are still so far away from where we're going to be. I think there are some in there that are absolutely correct. I think.
How does A&M strike you?
I think if you've watched A&M, I think that they're probably a little bit better than 17. But I'm not going to quibble over 2 spots. I can tell you this: we'd beat Boise State 9 times out of 10.
Okay.
I mean, they're just physically they're not capable. But then I look ahead of that and see Alabama, Notre Dame, Kansas State, Iowa State. Hey, those teams are pretty good. Yeah. So I think they're right where they need to be. The good news is you don't have to be all that strong. You just got to win the game in front of you. And every team we're talking about, whether you're a contender or a pretender, prove it. Go win out. You got a shot.
How does UTSA at 110 sit with you?
Seems a little low, but probably appropriate. The only reason I say it's a little low is I'll bet the 20 teams in front of them, they've got more NFL talent on that UTSA team. There's 4 or 5 guys on the UTSA team that are at the very least are going to get drafted, and I don't think the teams in front of them can say that.
But at the same time, 108 is East Carolina, who beat them.
Oh no, I think it's appropriate.
118 is Rice, who's lower than them but beat them.
Yeah, but that was miracle. I mean, if that Rice game doesn't happen, UTSA's in the 80s.
Yeah, probably so.
This Rice stigma, that you lose to Rice, the whole country's like, oh, God.
This one is the craziest number to me, and I can't argue it. I lost a bet on them last week, and I'm done betting on them, period. Florida State. I thought, you know what, this is about as bottom of the mark. And they had chances. They had chances to win that game, and they just can't get out of their own way. Norvell's got to get fired. They are 94th on the list. 94th out of 134.
And you think of the talent. It's such a colossal failure on every level. I don't know if it's the ghost of Jimbo's past, future, or whatever, but Mike Norvell and everybody from Jimbo on is going to suffer some sort of terrible fate because it's more than just football going on at Florida State. Even Florida has managed to turn things around.
I'm looking at, I want to make sure before I make this proclamation, and there is only one Power 4 team worse than Florida State, according to this. And Purdue, they have is 1 spot worse. 1 spot worse is Purdue.
That sucks.
I mean, that means Mississippi State's ahead of them. Stanford is ahead of them. Houston is ahead of them. This is Western Michigan's ahead of them. It's pathetic.
Purdue sucks.
They do suck, man.
Temple's 120.
Temple's dreadful. Tulsa's dreadful. That's who UTSA gets this week.
Yeah.
Where was Tulsa? Tulsa's 121. UTSA's got a couple. I don't want to say anything's a free square because they're not very good, but they got a couple games that they better win.
Coach was, you love them when you get beat, and you hammer on them when they win good, and he was going to be mean to them all week because that's what they did.
Yeah.
This Tulsa game, you lose this one, then every one of those gloom and doom things from Coach is true.
Yeah.
They're not going to lose it.
You lose this one, there's real.
Coach was worried about wind. If that's your primary worry.
Yeah. They have Army at 50, unbeaten Army.
I think that's absolutely appropriate, and I think that's a testament because if you want to go talent, they're down in the 130s.
Please, they got the best quarterback in the country.
They got he's Johnny Lujak reborn. He's the one that should be wearing that leather helmet.
Oh no, I'm wrong. I was looking at my power ratings. Where do they have Army?
I think they might be a little bit higher. I did.
Or no, they had 30.
There we go.
I just said the wrong number. I was looking at the right ones. I just saw my numbers wrong. They have Navy higher. They have Navy at 24.
Strength of schedule there.
Navy plays Notre Dame this weekend.
Mm-hmm. That's the good news about this in college football. Finally, we get to play this thing through. It doesn't matter. This beauty contest that really would have mattered last year, where we really do need to see where we sit in this top 10, and even 10 sucks. Now you can, as an Aggie, I sit at 17, and I go, you know what? That's probably appropriate. I'm not going to take a lot of umbrage because it doesn't matter. It will be proven.
It's all getting played out.
And it's been it's never happened like this. And it's going to be interesting as far as how coaches are kept and lost on the administrative side now that you have a little bit more access to the finals. And then you play that with the backdrop of the NIL and the transfer portal. What we thought was crazy, now it's about to get crazier because there's going to be a 13 team, a 14 team, a 15 team that doesn't get in that might fire a coach. That probably would have been fine at 15 when there was only the top 4 that went. But now that there are 12 and you were close, you get fired.
And I'm looking at it now, and I don't know that there's any teams that are in, like, if you look at just look at the AP top 25, you could make a case for every team in the top 25
has a shot
to make the playoff.
Well, I mean, we're only talking about just a little bit more than half won't be there. You assume. So, yeah, that's what.
Which the idea. So, as it sits today, Vanderbilt is 5-2. They are the number 25 team in the country
and have a shot to win the SEC.
If they go 10-2, now that would take beating Texas. It would take beating Tennessee. It would take a win at LSU. And you could say, well, that can't happen. Well, they beat Alabama.
And
so
would rightfully be an SEC champion if you did it.
And if they go 10-2 in the SEC, they're in.
Of course they're in.
That's wild to consider, but it is. Like, that's where we're at. And even Alabama.
Oh, they're not out.
They're not out.
They're not out.
In my head, this Tennessee-Alabama game last week was like an eliminator game.
We're so far away from the end that the gloom and doom, it's great for our business, but the fact of the matter, we've still got a month of what ifs. It's October the 22nd.
Now,
and we still, normally it is a foregone conclusion. Normally by this time in the year, we already know 2 teams that are in, so we're only fighting for the other 2.
Well, right now, I think it's safe to say Oregon is in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can assume a lot of stuff just because of the.
Oh, you mean like officially in?
Yeah, I mean, we would already know by now. Like, I mean, these guys are in. They're not going to fall out. I'll never forget when we watched Cincinnati make that run a couple years ago, and you go, man, they're going to get in. And no matter how good anybody else does, they're going to get in. It's not that anymore. You're not blocked out just because of space. There's not enough chairs in the room.
Well, there's plenty of chairs. I would say now, if you're outside the top 10 today, you can't afford another loss.
No, but yes, because chaos has ridden. There are going to be some chaotic moments. And I think that teams like Alabama, Teams that are like LSU and A&M on Monday, one of those two is going to be still, it'll feel like gloom and doom, but there's still so far to go.
But if Alabama loses another one, they're out.
Well, Alabama is got to walk
They've
the
got two.
tightrope.
Yeah, Ole Miss is the same boat.
Yeah, but even Ole Miss on this ranking, what are they like? They still have as good a shot as anybody in the Big 12. Anybody.
Ole Miss still has a game against Georgia to play. There's still room for them to make statements.
And the closer you get to the end, it's like the Sugar Ray Leonard premise when he was a fighter. Win the last 30 seconds. Don't worry about the first 30.
Yeah. Well, I'm again, I was a doubter about this whole thing, this whole adding team. It just seemed unnecessary to me.
Oh, it's great.
It's good.
It's good.
It's been good. So I'm coming around.
Well, what'll eventually happen is, and it's going to be fun for a couple of years, but just like any tournament, we're going to have a year where the first couple of weekends we've got upsets, and it's fabulous. And then we get to our championship game, and we're watching,
Oregon and Georgia.
Well, no.
That's what we're going to get.
Well, I'm saying for the next couple of years, we're going to get Titanic games.
Oh, yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
There will come a time when parity reaches, and that number 12 team actually makes it to the championship, and we don't care. It's like,
and then we're all going to regret.
We're going to, but for a couple of weekends, the upsets are magnificent. But then you get to the championship and you go, I enjoyed the upset, but I didn't think that Utah would make a championship game. I really don't care.
Let me ask you this. Let's say the first 5 years of this playoff format, where the first 4 teams get a bye, in the second round, in the next 5 years, how many of those top 4 teams do you think will lose?
Oh, I think it's 50%. The college kids, rest and rust, you got to keep that engine moving. Yes.
I think it's about, of the 20 games that'll be played, I bet it's about 2.
You don't think it'll be that often?
No.
I think these kids got to keep playing by then.
I think that those teams, by that point, you get a break. Oh, it's awesome.
I think it might help.
And you got to remember it's going to be on their home field.
Well, that's going to help.
So,
and you've earned it. If it goes that way, it should by the numbers. But I feel like you get to the end of the year and you're hot and you're rolling. Last thing I want to do is take a week off and watch everybody else.
You'd rather play one of the 10 best teams in the country instead?
I'd rather play with the number 12 best team in the country. If I had to play somebody, you know what I mean? But I'd much sooner sit at home and wait than play them at home.
Yeah, I'd rather sit around.
And that's the other part of what we've got coming.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll see how it works out.
Just the compacted nature of the basketball tournament is thrilling because it's coming tomorrow. I mean, you're playing today, and we're playing day after tomorrow, and there's more games. But expand that and then add the pressure valve of a day after day after day of this tournament. We've never experienced anything like this. This is something brand new for college sports, and it's going to be more intense than even the playoffs.
Chris says, will the annual Army-Navy game have any significance this year?
Sadly, no, because by the time they play, the list is already out.
Yeah, so remember the Army-Navy game has no impact on final rankings or seedings, but both of them are in the same conference. Both of them are currently headed toward a conference championship game, so you might get Army-Navy in back-to-back weeks.
Right, so there's going to be a lot of stuff to it.
That first one would matter a lot because if Army and Navy are unbeaten going into the American championship
both
game.
Both of them have Notre Dame, right?
Yeah. Or if they both have one loss, they are going to be in consideration, I think. But that game is going to matter a lot.
And, one of that game is traditionally played on the Heisman Award day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that crazy to think that at least one guy from that game will be in contention for the Heisman.
And also kind of a weird thing, this week may be one of the biggest games when it comes to who makes the playoffs and who doesn't, and it's Boise at UNLV. Like, the winner of that game, I think, has probably the inside track to the playoff.
Which, that really means we're fighting for 11 spots, but there it is.
Yeah.
Well, which, we want that, but they're in.
That's what everybody wanted.
12,
you guys want to see
that
it.
Group of 4.
Y'all didn't see enough when you saw Cincinnati.
Let's put it on a blue field, baby.
Yeah, you'll see. All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, we'll hear some sound from Coach McCarthy. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
You invited Dak and Coop over to the house. What mama cooked?
She never disappoints.
Well, what was the meal? We're really curious.
Well, she had the local pizza, salads, pasta dish, chicken.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, my daily fantasy game. In fact, mine and 10 million others are playing this every day because we know what we're doing. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on your sports action. Join me and so many others playing every day. You know why? Prize Picks invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Look, you know your sports. How many yards is CeeDee Lamb going to get this week? Is Jonathan Taylor going to get 85 or more? You know what you're doing. Go make your play. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which players aren't? You know you play fantasy football. Put your knowledge to work. And remember, use the code Alamo and there's $50 in it for you. Download the app now. Use Alamo. Play with your friends. It's the best way to have fun and get yourself in the game. Remember, Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can add to big payouts. Download the app today. Prize Picks. Run your game.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel, chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2, at T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
With 24 monthly bill credits, eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits, and credit stop and balance on required finance agreement too. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The Hurt app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. Hurt is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download Hurt now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The Hurt app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the Hurt app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
When there's work to do, ground to break, and a reputation to uphold, you need the powerful, durable Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months or save up to $1,000. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Is showtime for the Dallas Cowboys this week. They've had their rest.
I forgot about those guys.
They're all rested up. They were off in Cabo grabbing boobies. Oh, that was years ago. Never mind.
Or that's the worst thing that ever happens to them.
Yeah.
a pretty good life.
Well, you want to make sure you have permission before you do that.
Yeah, that was so silly. I mean, looking back at the whole getaway to Cabo years back.
Yeah.
Like, that was the reason.
Yeah, that's what.
That's why we lost. They
well,
took
that
a
is
week
why.
off.
I think everybody knows
But
that.
I think it was just the cavalier attitude that Romo showed. Like, it's the worst thing we ever do. It was the best thing that could have happened for the Cowboys to decompress. We haven't heard a word from Jerry, quite frankly, in a couple of days. Let that steam kind of
where'd he go?
Well, they put him in a hole and tell him to shut up. Come on, Dad.
He just kept, every time he'd go on a different show, he'd say the same thing.
Making it worse. But that in conjunction with watching San Francisco just get decimated. Debo's on an oxygen mask in the hospital.
Ayuk's leg fell off.
Ayuk is going to have a zipper very soon. I haven't seen McCaffrey since last year.
Nope.
And Brock Purdy suddenly looks like what we were saying, Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
So the best thing that could have happened to the Cowboys was time.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure the Cowboys, if there's any kind of return from injury or something that's going to fix this thing.
Well, at the very least, it'll be a battle of equals as far as skill level. Now, the sad thing is strategy suddenly becomes a more important facet of that. And which coach do you prefer when it comes to the strategic part of the game?
I think it's a toss-up.
I mean, when it comes to the X's and O's, and I love me some Mike McCarthy.
Yeah,
it's no disgrace to be told, guess what? I think Kyle Shanahan is the best coach in football, and you're not quite there yet. If I was him, I'd go, you're probably right.
It's certainly going to be an interesting test, and I think this is maybe the worst thing that could have happened to the Cowboys is that this is now a must-win game for the 49ers.
And the Cowboys.
There
is no more must than both here.
I'd much rather catch the 49ers at 5-1 feeling fat and happy.
No, as a Cowboy fan, we've done that. That doesn't work out well.
Okay.
No, I'd much prefer a wounded, if not little angry and lashing out animal than a fully functioning 49er team because we have been cut to pieces by that team.
The point spread in that game on Sunday Night Football is San Francisco minus 4.5.
That's coaching?
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably.
What? Are you kidding me?
I mean, I'm thinking it's probably more than just coaching.
What are you talking about? They're coming in with nobody. They're coming in without, as we sit now, Kittle with a foot, Debo with an oxygen mask, Ayuk getting a zipper. And
Debo was sick.
That's what I'm
he
saying.
Doesn't have cancer. He'll be fine next week.
He was in the hospital yesterday.
Yeah, he
ain't playing Sunday night.
He's playing.
I will see.
He's playing.
I'm just
Kittle's
saying,
playing.
They are rolling in wounded. So if all those, as of today, I think at best you would list Debo as questionable. The dude was in the hospital with pneumonia last night. So all those things, and they're still giving 49ers 4.5 on the road? Wow. I would post that in the locker room. That is a disgrace.
Are you betting the Cowboys then?
I'm just being the coach here. And you know what? I kind of am.
Are you? Well, Cowboys 3-0 on the road.
I don't care how good a coach you are. You lose all 5 of your skill positions, and the possibility is there that all of them are not there but Purdy. And we saw what Purdy looked like throwing to Scooter McGee with the rifle wound, or whatever his name is, Skip.
But we saw what Purdy looked like against the Kansas City Chiefs.
It doesn't matter. Jimmy's matter. Jimmy's and Joe's do matter. I don't care the level. And you to come in on the road against a wounded and probably lashing out team in the Cowboys as well, and to give them 4.5 points, if I'm McCarthy, I'm putting that in everybody's locker room. This is what the world thinks of you.
Well, it is what the world thinks of them.
It's for a gambling person to see that, that's not just home field advantage, which is the 3, as we all talk about. There's another 1.5 kicking ass there.
Oh, well, really, it's more than that because there's nobody gets 3 for home field anymore, and the amount that it takes to push a number through 3, like it's a lot. So, so for instance, the difference between 2 and 2.5
is not nearly as big.
The difference between 1.5 and 2.5 is almost nothing. The difference between 2.5 and 3.5
It's a whole other
is
score.
massive.
So that's even a bigger slap
Yeah.
is what I'm getting at. I mean, my God, how bad do they think the Cowboys truly are?
I mean, the 49ers, even without McCaffrey, have the best running back on the field.
Who's banged up, by the way?
He was banged up last week.
I'm just saying.
He looked fine.
All in all, this is as wounded as of a 49er team as you will ever. All of their skill positions are at best questionable.
Do we think that Micah Parsons is healthy?
Probably. He better be.
They asked Mike McCarthy about the progress that Mike has made this week.
Yeah, he's doing good. He was in here every day. He's going through the rehab. We obviously had a big group in here the whole week last week, and hell, there's a lot of guys in here working extra. So that's always I'm always appreciative and impressed with that because saw a bunch of guys in here over the weekend. So yeah, you couldn't tell it was an off week or a bye week really, just based off the number of guys that I've seen in the building, rolling through here throughout the week. So, but yeah, Mike is making progress.
That'd be big. It'd be big to have him back, no doubt.
Would you think it would be more important to have Micah back or defensive line help, interior defensive line help?
Micah.
Okay. No, I agree with you. But, we're talking about what San Francisco truly is, and they're a zone-blocking, downhill running football team. So that the inside of of the Cowboy defense is going to be tested early on.
The problem is there's nobody who could come back that's going to save you.
It's not like D-Law is going to really make that big a difference. But I do know that the one part of Micah's game is what, they're going to run right at him. Yeah. If he comes back in, I know where the ball's going. They're going to go at him all day. So they're going to have to be prepared to stop the run, and that's a weak part of their game. I mean, I know I'm stating the obvious, but the health of both teams is going to be key, no question. But I think Micah, as just the soul of this team, probably, man, there needs to be at least the threat of him playing. You got to make San Francisco scheme for him at the least,
I think more than anything, like this Cowboys offense has been so pathetic the last couple weeks.
They're lacking balance, AJ. Balance.
Well, we remember we ran the ball against Pittsburgh. You guys remember that, right? Everybody remembers. Like, dude, run the ball against somebody else.
They had balance then.
Yeah, that was the time. But I'll be honest, if Dak plays like he played against the Lions, it doesn't matter who the 49ers have. The Cowboys are going to lose.
There is the Dak question.
Yeah, and if the running game is what it was against the Lions, you lose. Like nobody wins football games playing the way the Cowboys offense played against Detroit.
Does it seal McCarthy's fate if he loses? Even if they make the playoffs, even if they ass backwards their way in, because the division's terrible.
That's what seals the fate. Is if they make the playoffs, he's got hope.
Still, even though it'll be a wild card on the road, not a winnable game.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win, but I don't think his fate's sealed until he's eliminated from the playoffs. But losing here, puts you up against it.
And it does hurt the playoff run. But again, we're still so early on, and we trust the Eagles. I don't know what's going to happen in the division.
You trust the Commanders?
I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know that even if they do lose, which is more likely than not, that it's still not over. There's still going to be another day to fight. But I do get the sense that if he does win and wins well or wins miraculously, but whatever it is, we remember the win, and he does lose the wild card, which is probably the most likely scenario of the good things, he still might have a chance.
Yeah.
But if he loses this and loses the wild card, done, cooked.
Isn't it weird how the Cowboys are 3-3, but it feels so much worse?
It's funny. We were talking. Well, they were talking at last night post game about the Cardinals, and they're so excited
to be 3-4.
To be 3-4. They feel so happy, and the difference between 2-5 and 3-4 is huge. So it is a matter of perspective. There's no doubt, because any other team in a division as weak as they're in, we would go, yeah, even if you lost, it ain't over. Cracks. You're going against the Giants, and we don't know about Washington, and we know that the Eagles are an up and down team, so you still got a shot. But it's the Cowboys.
Like if I told you before the season, by the time the Niners played the Cowboys would have a better record than San Francisco.
See, that's the reason I think it's such a must-win for McCarthy, because the table is set. You're never going to have a better chance. I know you're dinged up, but they're on the road. They've been hammered repeatedly. You know what their weaknesses are. They've never had as bad a defense. Their offensive line is a sieve, and they got nobody to go out and get the ball. They literally do not have a starting wide receiver or tight end functioning today.
Yeah.
So it's never going to be easier. Never. Now, granted, you got your own El Guapos, but you are at least meeting on equal terms.
If I told you preseason, right now, the Cowboys would have a better record than the Niners, the Rams, the Bengals, and the Dolphins, would you have taken it?
Well, the next question is, what's the record? They've only played 6 games.
Yeah.
I mean, we got so far to go, but it is the Cowboys, and you can read the temperature of the room, and this does feel like, and it's not overstating the obvious. Even if both teams were juggernauts, this would have been a vital team. If both teams were 5-1, coming into it full speed ahead, the same pressure would have been brought to bear for McCarthy, because he's still got to beat them. Yeah. Even if they were doing great and he lost, I think we'd wake up Monday just as mad at him as we are today.
I think if the Cowboys lose this week and the Commanders really or the Eagles win, it's going to start feeling real rough.
It's going to get tight.
It's going to start feeling real rough. And the Commanders play the Bears at home. Eagles play the Bengals.
Well, and I'm
another desperate team, by the way.
And I bring things. I try to escape my Cowboy perspective, and it's so difficult to get past it. But I do have the logical expectation that things come back to the mean, or progress or regress to the mean, to the middle of the road. And I think Washington has been a flash. I think that they've done some really cool things, but that is still a very shallow team with a lot of problems that Quinn has been able to coach through. But I think as the season wears on and injuries start to pile, you're dealing with backups and third stringers that just aren't to the measure of the rest of the league. And we're going to see them kind of fall back. That's my expectation.
Through 7 games, they are the highest scoring offense in the NFL.
I completely agree. I'm not saying that they're not terrible, but I think most logical minds say Washington will cool off. But on the other side of that, Philadelphia is way too talented and way too experienced to continue to be absolutely average. They can't. There's too much there. So my expectation is by the end of the season, it's going to be Philadelphia in the lead, with Washington, playing the spoiler role, still kind of tagging along. And they would be the reasons why the Cowboys, if they all manage to, the Cowboys get better and continue to win, and Washington continues to do what they're doing, that Washington would, be with last out kind of stuff and be very happy about it. And the Cowboys would be out as well, and their coach would get fired.
Well, and I think the scary thing for the Cowboys is I don't know that the Eagles are playing mediocre anymore. The Eagles look like they might be trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that's the logic of this is they should figure it out, and Washington should come back to the mean. But they're going to be chasing the Cowboys anyway. Will be chasing somebody, but it's easier chase for Washington because eventually you just figure things will collapse a little bit.
The good news is, though, Cowboys are better than the Giants.
Well,
we can all agree on that.
We all can agree that we are.
All right, I got to tell you guys about my good friends over at Game Day Men's Health. I went by yesterday, and listen, when you hit a certain age, you don't feel the same. And I was talking to Chris Jones, the guy who runs the place over there, and he was like, if your energy is a little lower than it used to be, you don't want to go to the gym after work. He's like, I get it. He's like, it happens to everybody. It happened to me. And if you see Chris, you will say that couldn't have happened to you. He's a mountain of a man. But he says sometimes we need a little push. And Games Day Men Health, that's where they come in. They built a 3-step process. It's quick. It's designed just for us. It's a great place to go check out right there in the Alamo Quarry area, Alamo Quarry Center. You get your T levels checked, free testosterone test. Then you meet with a licensed provider. You come up with the plan. They tell you all the pros, all the cons. I literally did this yesterday. And finally, you'll get those fast treatments. If you want the weekly treatments, the weekly shots, you can do that. You want the pellets that sometimes will last up to 6 months. You can do that. It's going to help your energy. It's going to help your mood. Going to give you a kick in the libido. Going to help you get yourself back up and help you sleep better. That's another high thing I was prioritizing. Don't settle. Be the best version of yourself. Give them a call today, 210-900-3691, 210-900-3691. Feel better, be better at Game Day.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We've got a new trouble spot. I-10 eastbound at West Avenue. This accident causing a little bit of stop and go from Vance Jackson. Now, we still have this closure with a very serious crash that occurred earlier during your morning rush hour. 410 westbound still shut down. Nacogdoches on over to Broadway. It's causing a 35-40-minute delay. They are forcing traffic to exit right at Harry Wurzbach onto the frontage road. 35 southbound FM 1518 on down to 410. Traffic rolling, stop and go. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Do you want to be bothered while you're taking a crap?
It happens all the time.
By who? I mean, you're playing solitaire in there and scrolling Facebook.
And I've been getting asked questions by my wife.
Your wife talks to you while you're taking a dump?
So it's like, babe, I can't hear you. Give me a minute or 10.
You can also poop and get off the pot.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by the Texas Department of Transportation.
A message for drivers from TxDOT. Cars are bigger than people, so when you're behind the wheel, watch out for pedestrians. Stop for them in crosswalks and yield the right-of-way when turning at intersections. That way, we'll all get home safe. Be safe. Drive smart.
House of Cards and Collectibles is having a huge 10th anniversary sale this Saturday. Thousands of unsorted sports cards will be on sale along with discounted card supplies. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, and Lorcana will also be sale priced. Bring the kids for the costume contest, take pictures with Pikachu, and free door prizes every hour. Remember, this Saturday, doors open at 12 noon. House of Cards and Collectibles at 2105 Vance Jackson. See you there.
If you're tired of drinking the same old beer, good news for you, friends. Karbach Brewing has you covered. They've got something for everybody in their lineup. No matter what you like, they can improve on what you've been drinking. Whether it's a Hopadillo, a Love Street, or a Crawford Bock, they've got something for everybody. Karbach has one of the leading IPAs in San Antonio, Hopadillo IPA, an iconic Texas IPA packed with the bitterness of hops from around the world that the hop monster craves. And one of Karbach's leading brands, the top seller in San Antonio, in fact, is the Love Street Blonde. It's a state of mind, a San Antonio state of mind. It's a Kolsch-style blonde, hopped delicately with floral German hops. This beer has the clean malt profile that you're looking for. And if you're used to drinking cerveza, they've got that as well. The Karbach Cerveza Especial is right for you. Like I said, something for everybody. And when you're in Houston, make sure you go check out the brewery, check out all the beers they have on tap. But while you're here in San Antonio, you want to try something new, why don't you try out a Karbach?
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station when you buy a Connecticut water softener. A free drinking water system installed at your kitchen sink with the cleanest, best tasting water you've ever had. Better for your coffee maker, better for cooking, better for everything. Free with the purchase of a Connecticut water softener, but only for a limited time.
Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy.
And is the last water softener you'll ever own. Right now, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking water station when you buy a Connecticut water softener. This is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call us at 656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Connecticut.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other.
so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, Jerry Jones back on the radio. A lot of reaction there, I know. Can't wait.
We'll talk about that and look ahead to San Francisco with Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk. She joins us at 5:15.
And how about those Houston Texans? A tough one in Green Bay. Indy Kalu's going to have a lot to say about that when he joins us at 3:30.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle. Talking about the Cowboys' woes. And boy, are they plentiful. You liked this comment. Mike McCarthy was asked about Troy Aikman's comments about the receivers, and McCarthy responded to Troy.
Yeah, for me to address those comments, I don't, because they don't carry any weight with me, because I watch all the tape. I get to go to the meetings. I'm at practice. I'm part of the games, so I have a clear understanding of what and where. And in Troy's statement in particular, I don't agree with the word selection, but there is definitely need for improvement in every position. Not just one position that he commented on. So I think you look at the whole picture. You break it down, and that's what coaches do. And there's a process to it. There's always a plan. These guys bring great energy. That their work ethic is high. If GPS is a good monitor. Gives you an idea of your workload capacity. Going back to what I said earlier, the 22 and 23 comparables from a workload capacity, the GPS is higher than the prior two teams, so that tells you that the effort and energy is there, but the detail and intention needs to go up. That's going to be a big part of us today. So we're not as detailed in a number of areas on our football team, which is normal for any football team that I've ever coached to be part of. So for it to be highlighted with a brighter light because of external opinions, that's not the way we work. We sell Scott every day, sell Scott, every week.
It sounded to me like, so what I heard when Troy said that was his way of trying to kind of protect Dak, right?
I think exactly. A quarterback taken up for his quarterback.
Yeah, he thought that Dak was catching too much heat. He was trying to say, well, the receivers aren't really doing their jobs. I don't know that I agree or disagree with this.
I don't know. I'm not an expert,
premise.
But I know that Troy is, and I know that Troy has watched the Cowboys run their routes, and I think that McCarthy agreed. Now, I wouldn't necessarily use those words. I don't know what words you would use, but this all falls for McCarthy to say what he's said since the loss. It's not about our activity; it's about our execution. It falls back on an old quote to me that John Wooden used to preach, and I've had 100 other coaches say it. Don't confuse activity for productivity. Don't just come to me and, well, they're working hard.
Right.
Well,
Are they getting better?
Yeah. What exactly do you mean by working hard? I come to work and they're all there lifting. Well, they are professional athletes. I'm glad they're there. That should be the expectation, not the difference, not the extra. So what I keep hearing from McCarthy I don't quite get where he's at. So are we supposed to blame you then? Don't blame the players, blame you?
Well, and that's where the most interesting clip that I heard, and I listened through these last night, the most interesting one I heard is him talking about how who you think you are in practice is not who you are on Sundays and how dangerous that can be. And he addresses that in this clip.
The biggest mistake coaches make, and it's something you got to really guard against, who you think you are in practice and in the meetings is not who you are on Sundays. So, just looking at all the option routes, looking at our hesitation releases on the option routes, and we've had 10 of them in this one particular concept that we're looking at, and I thought I'd called probably 14 of them, 14 in that area. So I was a little surprised by the number, and then the production was really kind of in line with the practice reps. So it's you gotta really make sure you pay close attention to those things. So because you go into games heavy one way, particularly we've had 3 games this year where we're really totally out of balance, so we really didn't get into a number of the first and second down concepts that we had worked on all during the week. So, you got to make sure you know exactly who you are, and what you put on film Sunday, that's who you are, and that's really what's nice about Cross the Hall, because the defensive coaches evaluating the offensive players, it'll all be off of game tape, but then the individual work will be off of practice tape. So they'll get the fundamental and technique teaching of, hey, if offensive tackle, Tyler Guyton. Now that you have 5 games on tape, these are your tendencies. These are your tendencies. So now the D-line coaches, he's saying, hey, now I would, you are open to the bull rush because you open your hips, every time on your second step. So it's those little things that he's been told that already. But it's it's like parenting. I could tell my kids all day that take a better second step, but as soon as Kelvin tells it, then then it's different. Or you guys write it in a paper, it probably works better. But I think it's human nature. If you hear it from somebody else, it just carries more weight.
Okay, there's 2 things I can take away from that. One is that last sentence, like. That makes it sound like you're not getting through to your guys. Like if your guys have to hear it from outside of you, like if they're not hearing it when you say it and they've got to hear it from write it in the newspaper, like that's a detriment of Mike McCarthy, isn't it?
Well, I get a little bit of it, but you're right. You shouldn't. I mean, these are professional athletes. How many times I got to tell you? That's your second step. But I do get it, and the point he made, it makes some sense. I can say it to you over and over, but you think you're good, and then suddenly you get self-scouted, which, this is nothing new, by the way. I mean, to have your defensive coaches scout your offense
for sure.
and tell you where the weaknesses are, they've been doing this all the time. This isn't something they've added since they've been losing. But I do get the fact that sometimes reinforced by another segment, like, look, man, I don't care what – I don't have anything out for you other than I'm going to tell you the truth, and you need to work on your second step. Maybe that takes a little bit more weight, but you're right. I don't think Tomlin has to worry about somebody else passing the message along. I think when Tomlin tells you, you better fix that second step, you fix your second step.
Like when he says, I've already told him that, but, he doesn't hear it. It's like, well, that's a big problem.
Yeah, Tomlin's not going back and telling you twice.
And then the other thing is if we are who we are on Sunday, then why do you keep talking about guys getting better at practice?
Well, I think where he's trying to go, but he can't, and we heard the whisperings of it last week, is the practices are loose. They're having fun. They don't seem to be, the little things that used to drive Troy Aikman crazy when he was the post-Jimmy era, when they weren't quite as dialed in for every practice like they were with Johnson when we were dealing with, we can
Barry Switzer.
We can go. I was going to go several of them, but it was initially Switzer when Aikman got mad. So when I hear quarterbacks and players go, you got to tighten up practice, I feel like coaches defending what they do in practice or telling the players, look, man, they're right. You guys are jacking around in practice. You think you're having fun and it's the right thing, but that's not who you were seeing on Sunday. So maybe we need to adjust the way we're practicing.
Yeah, none of those things sound like the things I would want to admit to if I was a coach of a team that was struggling.
When all of it is what you would expect a team that's struggling. Yes, your practices are loose. Obviously, you're not focused. We got too many pre-snap penalties. Obviously, your routes aren't tight. Obviously, your offense is moribund. All of that is true.
All right, we got a NBA extravaganza coming up in the next hour. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We've got a new trouble spot. I-10 eastbound at West Avenue. This accident causing a little bit of stop and go from Vance Jackson. Now, we still have this closure with a very serious crash that occurred earlier during your morning rush hour. 410 westbound still shut down. Nacogdoches on over to Broadway. It's causing a 35-40-minute delay. They are forcing traffic to exit right at Harry Wurzbach onto the frontage road. 35 southbound FM 1518 on down to 410. Traffic rolling, stop and go. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an audience national contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast Burrito. Wendy's Breakfast Burrito is everything you want for breakfast. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese sauce, bacon or sausage, all rolled up into one warm tortilla. Want the boss of breakfast burritos? Gotta be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Joel, don't you just love Halloween?
It's okay, but I do like your troll costume.
I'm not wearing a costume.
Folks, if your home's AC starts making those witching sounds or the pipes in your wall start moaning and clanging like ghosts having a party, call Quarter Moon at 651-5899 and we'll send our team of highly trained
Ghostbusters!
I was gonna say technicians.
I ain't afraid of no clogs.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 651-5899. License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
This is Rob Thompson from my good friends over at Tri-County Meat Market. You've heard me talk about great deals over and over, and there is no better deal in all of San Antonio than the 5 for 30. 5 items in a bag. You walk out of Tri-County with 2, maybe 3 meals in your bag. No better deal to be found either on Ralph Fair or out on Ebener. Tri-County Meat has everything to up your grilling game, and 5 for 30, go pick that up and come by and thank me later. Tri-County Meat Market.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The Hurt app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. Hurt is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download Hurt now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The Hurt app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the Hurt app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks. The unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B.
When you've got a big job to do, never compromise. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Get the power, comfort, and quality you need by choosing Kubota rental equipment. Excavators, skid loaders, track loaders, RTVs, or mowers. At Ewald Kubota, we have the machine you need when you need it. Rent by the day, week, or month. We know you want the dependable equipment Kubota is known for, and we can even deliver it to you. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, for over 75 years, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio Sports Center.
Happy NBA Day. The season begins today with 2 games on the docket. The Knicks Celtics can be caught on our sister station, ESPN AM 1250. In the NFL, Baltimore punished the Bucks 41-31. The Cardinals edged the Chargers 17-15 with a walk-off field goal. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, it's that time of year, friends. The National Basketball Association. What?
It's a soft opening.
Only 2 games.
I mean, it's, you know.
I want an extravaganza today.
The NFL and college football, it's an extravaganza. Week 0 set aside, prime time. NBA, Tuesday night, we'll give you a couple games. We're going to ease into it.
This is your big chance.
This is it. Just kind of.
It's a Tuesday. There's no NFL tonight.
Just open up, get things going, loosen up, shake off the cobwebs.
It's crazy.
Play a couple games.
I would have had 10 games today.
No, it'd be a waste of effort. You know, it'd be. But no one cares.
Well, guess what? They're going
long way.
They're going to be doing it on Christmas Day when there's NFL.
It's a slow build, and they're losing. They're losing ground, but eventually they're going to get their way and adjust the schedule appropriately and move this thing. We shouldn't be. This should be December. The first game should be in December. That's just.
I agree. Or shorten the season.
Whatever it is, this is just
not by games, but just by days.
Well, I mean, we've got the World Series is overshadowed by football. What do you think the opening day of an 82-game schedule is going to look like?
Well, the World Series was smart to put their opening day on a Friday.
Yeah, but even then, on Saturday morning, we will wake up, and the World Series will be just below the big games of the day on the fold, on your headline read, whatever you go to. It will not be the lead. It will be behind the games of the day. It'll be behind A&M LSU. It'll be behind, you know what I mean? So no matter, even though the World Series, Yankees and Dodgers, the two primary media markets in this country, they're still fourth in the hierarchy of sports on a Friday. So, you know, it's soft opening, but that's what the NBA does. It's a slow build, and it takes a minute for us to find out who you're going to be. This year is going to be as wide open as it has been in a long, long time. We got usual suspects departed. We've got young teams growing into themselves. This is going to be as fun as anything, but more so than anything else, this season will be the next to last page in a lot of books. Lots of stories are winding down. We're looking at Steph ending it. LeBron is all but done. There's a lot of things that are winding down this year.
Before we get into the future, there was a bunch of – yesterday was the deadline to do these extensions, and a lot of them got done. Notable ones, Aaron Gordon, 4 years, $133 million with the Nugs. We saw Şengün, 5-year, $185 million with the Rockets. Who also
he's underpaid. He's still underpaid.
Yeah, that's a good value number for them. And Jalen Green, 3 years, $106 million. I don't think the Rockets knew what to do with him. I don't know. I'm not sure they wanted to pay him, but I feel like they felt like they had to.
Well, that's a deal that's a very tradable deal. Jalen Green will not be a Rocket in the next 2 years. He won't play through this contract.
Terrell Suggs, Jalen Suggs, 5 years, $150 million with the Magic. I've told you I love that kid. Jalen Johnson, 5-year, $150 with the Hawks.
A little early for that.
But one that didn't get done was Jonathan Kuminga. They've been under discussions and just did not do it. So, I mean, it doesn't mean that it's like Kuminga's not going to be there, but it's kind of weird. They did sign Moses Moody. They got Moses Moody for a 3-year, $39 million, which I like Moses Moody, by the way. But
yeah,
but you're talking about a guy who's is probably going to be one of your starters this year. You had a chance to extend him, and they're like, nah.
If I'm Kuminga, I'm happy because the Warriors in 3 years ain't going to be the Warriors that are contending for anything.
You're probably right.
So maybe he got out, but I think it's more representation of a guy that had every opportunity last year to improve. Everybody knew that a contract year was coming. He had every opportunity to go and do that, and he didn't. I mean, he is still a work in progress, and he wasn't even worth. Once you sign these third-year guys into these extensions, you're looking to do one of two things: one, to keep them around as long as possible, or two, to create the player and turn them into a quantifiable product. Jalen Green is now what's his salary a year? Like 30 a year, 25,
35,
35 a year. That's a dollar amount that you now can use as a tradable part of a deal. He's quantifiable. You know what he's worth, and he's now usable. That deal was signed to bring in something else. He's now a product.
He's now a what do they call him? An asset.
Yes, that's what he is. He's now a movable asset because of the contract he signed.
Well, Edwin didn't come in today. He's lazy. He doesn't like to work on Tuesdays. But he did send in his notes, and I want to compare his notes to our notes for some of these. He picked his playoff teams, his play-in teams, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, et cetera, et cetera. And let's start with the playoff teams. Let's start in the Eastern Conference, where he's got the playoff teams, and he has them in this order. So he's got them ordered in order of what he thinks the standings will be. Celtics, Knicks, Bucks, Sixers, Magic, Cavs. The thing that jumps out to me immediately is I think the Sixers are going to be way better than this. Now, there is always if Joel Embiid gets hurt thing. I think the Sixers are going to be in contention to be the best team in the Eastern Conference this year.
It's going to be funny watching Paul George run around in the Sixers uniform. But yeah, if this is his order of finish, I get it all. I do think Miami's going to have something to say about it in the East. The Cavs are a bold choice, but yeah, this is the likely suspect. The East is not nearly as deep as the West.
No.
There's a little bit more wiggle room.
It's hard to find. So it's easy to find 6 playoff teams. It's hard to find play-in teams like after those 6 that are even worthwhile.
Right.
So he's got Pacers, Heat, Hawks, Raptors. I think the Hawks suck, and I think the Raptors suck. So that puts me in a weird spot because I'm like, okay, if I don't want to have those 2 teams in, who do I have? And I started looking through, and I'm like, oh wait, all these teams suck.
Well, of those 4, we know the Heat are getting older.
Yeah.
We know the Hawks are, Trey Jones in transition. The Raptors are getting better. They got young and now they're growing up, and Scotty's going to be another thing.
Yeah.
The Pacers better be the last or the first play-in team, however you define it. This is a team that is supposed to be getting better, and just to be, if this is indeed the case, and the Pacers are an at 500 or lesser team. Rick up there, there's problems. This team is expected to win 45 games and be a 5 or 6 seed, not a play-in team.
Well, remember last year they won 47 games,
yes,
and they were a 6 seed. So it's
they at the very least are expected with one more year of Halliburton, one more year of improvement. They can't be a play-in team.
But I can't find any other teams. So I'm looking at like the Bulls. The Bulls are terrible. The Nets are terrible. The Hornets are dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
The Wizards, they're not even trying. And the Pistons.
No, it's that. There is no depth.
His teams might be the teams that might be the play-in teams.
I think the Pacers are a more likely playoff team than the Cavs. I think the Cavs are more likely play-in team.
See, I like the Cavs more than you do. I like the Cavs quite a bit, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cavs have a first-round playoff series. So, but I'm going to go. I think the Knicks are the team that's going to fall back to earth. I think the Knicks caught a little lightning in a bottle last year.
Well, they're going to win a lot of games because they're going to get to beat the likes of the rest of the East over and over. So we're going to look at this record. Falling back to earth would be what? Losing in the second round of the play, because they're going to win 45, 50 games just for being in the East.
I agree, but I think they'll be the 4 or the 5 seed and not the 2 seed.
I'm not going to discount the Knicks in the regular season. And I do think, talent-wise, they're real close to the Celtics.
I think at some point you have to have a star, like a legit superstar.
No, they're banking on Brunson, and I agree with you.
I think Jalen Brunson's pretty good.
He's not.
I think Jalen Brunson's a good player. I don't think he's like a carry-your-team player, at least not for the long term. He's done it once, and it was nice. I'm not buying it.
And we haven't talked about the Bucks. And, the Bucks are what they were. I mean, if they're healthy, maybe, but we never saw Dame and Giannis really click.
No.
We never saw it mesh, and we're 1 year older now with Dame. Now, he's still got something there, but that is the one and it's good that it's in the middle of this list. Celtics, Knicks, Bucks, Sixers, Magic, Cavs. They're right where they should be, but they could easily be 1-2 steps up, or they could easily be playing in if they're banged up, if it's Giannis every other night. I mean, this could be a team that end what they were.
So I'm going to go, my order is going to be Boston 1, Sixers 2, Cavs 3.
Wow, no love.
Magic 4, Bucks 5, Knicks 6, Pacers 7, Heat 8, and then I'll have Toronto and I guess I don't know. It's not going to. I'll go with the Nets. I don't know. I don't think any of those. I don't know who the last play-in team. It's going to be a terrible team. Whoever the last playoff team is, our play-in team is.
Celtics will win the East. Celtics, Knicks, and Bucks. It's a coin flip with the Sixers. 1, 2, 3, 4. One will be the Celtics. That's 2, 3, 4. It will be separated by 2 or 3 games. It'll be decided the last week. Magic, I do like in the playoffs. I think the Pacers are better than the Cavs. I think the Pacers are due. So I might get them in there. Cavs is the first play-in team along with the Raptors.
Okay. In the Western, you know what? We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll do the Western Conference, and we'll look at some awards. And then in the 8:30 segment, I want to dig deep into the San Antonio Spurs, what their season's going to look like. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I hope you are ready to break some ground this weekend, got some honeydews around the property, or maybe you got a big job that needs the kind of equipment that you don't have, but you have access to once you get a hold of your local e-wall provider. There are locations all around South Texas, and what they do is exactly what you need. Now, if they got the tractor you need, they got it on board. You can go by and pick it up, but if you don't, they'll put up and fix up whatever you need. They have rental equipment. If you have a big job, only you need to have the big equipment for a day or a week or a month, they'll bring it out to you. They'll train you up and get you going. As far as hunting season, my goodness, have you seen the Kubota RTVX? It's North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle. There is no better product from getting stuff out on your property, whether you're hauling corn, you're hauling stuff for your blind, you're hauling stuff to take care of fences, whatever your property needs. That little mule will keep working, and when there's ever a problem, you know you've got Ewald Kubota and their service after the sale. Those 11 locations have been here a long time because they take care of you long after you've walked off the property. And if you're breaking ground or you're looking for something new, now's the time. $0 down, 0 APR for 36 months on this new Kubota equipment. You can save up to $1,000. Need more details? Go to Ewald Kubota or KubotaUSA.com for the full details. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, for over 75 years, that Ewald Kubota has been your Kubota dealer.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, Jerry Jones back on the radio. A lot of reaction there, I know. Can't wait.
We'll talk about that and look ahead to San Francisco with Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk. She joins us at 5:15.
And how about those Houston Texans? A tough one in Green Bay. Indy Kalu's going to have a lot to say about that when he joins us at 3:30.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
With Progressive, you get more than savings. You get access to us through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
Oh, I see what you're doing here, Jamie. Giving me all these ways to stay in touch so I have no excuse not to. Well, you're in luck, because this guy's in the market for a new BFF.
Actually, all our customers can contact us this way.
Oh. Yeah, no, I was just kidding.
But I am always up for Taco Pizza!
Jigsaw!
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hello. My name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, and since 1994, I've been representing people and families seriously injured by negligent drivers. Recently, we've all seen advertisements from attorneys here in San Antonio saying their firm does not get paid an attorney fee unless there's a recovery. And maybe you've heard, we don't get paid unless you get paid, or words to that effect. Well, that is what I've been doing for more than 30 years. I honestly did not know that there were attorneys in San Antonio that would represent an injured client and charge a fee if there was no recovery. You see, I practice law with basic principles, one of which is you never need an excuse to do the right thing. If you or a family member has been injured in a vehicle collision, including a commercial or business vehicle, an 18-wheeler, call me. The phone call and consultation is free. If you hire me, I will not get a fee unless there is a recovery. And this has been true for me and my firm for more than 30 years. My number, 210-900-0400, that's 210-900-0400, or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
Do you want to add more fun to watching NFL games? Jason Minix here from The Blitz. Make sure you go download the Underdog Fantasy app or get signed up at UnderdogFantasy.com and start playing the Pick'em game. Love playing Pick'em just about every game I play. Love winning money. You too can as well. Win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player stats like passing yards, rushing yards, touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, field goals made. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward. Signing Signing up is easy. Just go to the mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or go to ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR when you get signed up at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Buying or selling a home is a big deal, literally. It's one of the largest financial transactions you're likely to make. So work with someone who will work with your best interests in mind. Someone who agrees to operate with transparency, honesty, and fairness every step of the way. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and are bound by a strict code of ethics that requires they put your interests above their own. Because that's who we are. Make sure your agent is a Realtor.
Lowe's knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. That's why our Lowe's Red Vest associates can help with game time decisions. Plus, use in-store mode on the Lowe's app to find what you need. Under pressure at home and want it soon? Order online by 2 p.m. to get it same day. Same day valid on eligible in-stock items and select zip codes only. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. Exclusions and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
All right, we're taking a look at the NBA as they get tipped off tonight. Picked our Eastern Conference teams. A little different order. But I think we had the same play-in teams.
Only difference was Pacers. You like the Cavs far more than I do.
Yeah.
And I think the Pacers are playoff.
I think let's do this exercise first in the Western Conference. Because we only have to give 5 teams for this. Give me the 5 teams in the West that aren't playoff or play-in teams in your mind.
That aren't?
Yeah. Like, who's going to be sitting at home come playoff time?
Rest assured, Portland leads the list there.
Okay.
That aren't playoff or play-in. Utah.
Okay. Agree and agree.
But we're including play-in.
No, I want the 5 that aren't going to make the playoff and aren't going to make the play-in. So the bottom 5 teams in the West.
I hate to say it, but San Antonio.
Okay.
Sacramento is better. Utah, we mentioned them. Phoenix. See, I think Phoenix
Houston?
won't. I think Houston might be a playoff team.
Okay. You think Phoenix won't?
Well, it's going to be. You know what? I think Houston is probably more likely not to make it, though. I do think Houston, at the end of the day, is going to probably be a play-in team.
Okay.
But I'm going to include them right now. So Houston, and the last one that we're trying to figure out after, and we're talking West. I don't know, man.
For me, it's the 4 that you picked and the Clippers.
You know what? The Clippers, yes. I agree with all that. The Clippers, I was drawing a blank.
So basically what that means is, because Houston, Utah, San Antonio, and Portland didn't make it last year, Clippers fall out, Memphis moves in.
Yeah, I think Memphis is a playoff team.
And then it's a lot of it's the same as last year. OKC, Denver, Minnesota. Yes, yes, yes. Dallas, Phoenix, Lakers, Pelicans, Kings, Warriors.
I think the Lakers are in for a.
I think the Lakers will be
rough.
in. You know what? I don't. I think the Lakers are going to be comfortably in. I think they'll be
They're
the top
7
play
seed.
in again.
Yeah, they're 7-8
Yeah.
seed. I won't argue with that, but they're so old. They're going to have to rely on health and player bank team
more so than the Warriors.
Here's the crazy. Yeah, no, not more so. I think the more likely outcome of this is Golden State not in the playoffs.
I think so too.
So I do put them down there, but they're going to be in play-in world. But what we're looking at in the West is the records are not going to reflect the quality of the teams. I had trouble coming up with 5 non-playoff teams. The winner of the West might pull out 53 wins, 54, I would think.
I bet it'll be more than that.
Oh, man, you're going to have to look at the gauntlet you got to go through. You're playing a playoff team twice a week in the West.
You had 3 teams with 56 or more last year.
It's brutal, man.
It is.
This is barring injury, and injury plays a role every year. Somebody's going to go down and things are going to change. But as we sit right now, I don't see. I mean, look at how deep everything is. While San Antonio is not a play-in, they're still going to win 36 games at worst case. And that's taken away from the Lakers, and it's taken away from they're going to beat Denver once. They're going to beat all the top teams once. The East can't say that.
Well, remember last year,
Washington's not going to beat the Celtics, not once.
No. Remember last year the Rockets didn't even get in the play-in, and they were a 500 team.
So I think it's going to look far worse than it does in the West as far as the records go, because we're going to see those top teams losing fairly more regular than we will see, say, like Boston and the Sixers, just because they're lining up against Charlotte.
But who's battle-tested come...
Well, that's the rest and rust and the old school. How healthy are you when you get to the playoffs? But I don't think it's going to be kind of like the Houston Texans in football. They're going to be better, we thought, but the record won't reflect it. I think the West is so much better, but the records won't reflect it because they're playing tougher games.
I think Oklahoma City is the best team in the West. I think that they've got they were the best team in the West last year, and it still feels like they've got room to get better.
I agree that they're by far the best team, but Shea is still going to have to take this step that everybody's telling us that he's gonna. He's such a well-rounded, great basketball player that he's got to be very careful that he doesn't become Paul George. That's just all, and I'm not saying that as a negative. I'm just there are stars like Paul George who are capable and more than willing to lift you when needed, but they don't always. They're willing to defer and let you go do it too.
Yeah,
and that's Shea, and that's a great thing to have. But there comes a time when you got to be an alpha dog, and despite what your mentality is to, spread the wealth and get everybody involved and play team basketball, there comes a time where you have to go do it. And in basketball, more than any other sport, you can.
Well, Shea is still, at least last year, was still a 30-point-a-game guy.
I agree. I'm not, but you can agree with me that there is that. He's got this.
I don't know
nice
if he's
guy.
like a top dog alpha.
Yeah,
I don't
think
know.
He's that guy. Not that he has to be, but for him to be the MVP and him to lead Oklahoma City to the best record in the league against a tougher division even than it was last year, ain't gonna be the easiest thing, and it's gonna require that kind of greatness.
Well, he's got Edwin has Shea as his MVP. I don't agree with that. Because I think a lot of it is. I think Jalen Williams is getting better every year. Like Jalen Williams is becoming like a star, and I think Chet is getting better every year. Yeah. So it's like, this to me feels a lot more like the Celtics, where I don't know if they have I think Shea is their best player, but it's certainly not built around one guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Celtics they're not built around. You can try and sell me that Jason Tatum is this. I don't see Jason Tatum as that. Jason Tatum and Shea are kind of similar to me. I like in that way. Like I don't think either one of them are going to take over a team and say, "Hey, this is my team. This is how we're going to do it." But we just saw last year that Jason Tatum can win by doing that.
Yeah,
it's possible.
But you do have to have a guy with the talent of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to do that. I'm not going to take away from the skill sets that they bring. The expectations, I think, are just a little bit too much. But I will apply the same standard to Jason as I will to Shea Gilgeous. That, what made them great might keep them from taking that next step because they're more than willing to defer. They're more than willing, hey, man, if you're, good to better, better to best. But at some point, you're going to have to do that. And I think for Shea to take Oklahoma City to the title is going to have to do that.
And I think you also got to remember, like, the Thunder were very lucky last year in that they were, I say lucky, they were lucky to have the health that they had. Their starting five, the guy who missed the most games last year was Jalen Williams. He missed 11 games.
Mm-hmm.
Chet played 82. Giddey played 80. Dort played 79. Like, it's so rare for that to happen. And now part of it is they're a young team. Teams like the Lakers and the Warriors are going to have a bunch of missed games because they've got old men. But this team is young, and they were healthy last year. You never know how repeatable that is. I still think they are the class of the Western Conference, though. Beyond them, I think Minnesota's set to take a little step. I think they jumped Denver this year. I think the Mavericks are in that conversation too. I think another year of Luka and Kyrie working together gets them better. And I'm gonna say this knowing that
Don't
I could
forget
look.
Klay Thompson there with the Mavs.
Oh yeah, very important. I'm gonna say this knowing that it could look very, very dumb, because the two teams I'm gonna put in that 4-5 are two teams that, with one injury could be out the window. I'm gonna go the Pelicans and the Grizzlies take a jump. And then I'll go Kings as the last playoff team, and then I'll go. No, I didn't say the Nuggets, did I?
No.
Nuggets have to be the 4, and then Pelicans and Grizzlies, and then the Kings, and I'll have Suns, Lakers, and the Warriors will round it out.
I don't know about Phoenix. They at some point they got to mesh, right? I mean, there's too much talent not to. I like
They're
Oklahoma
always
City.
an injury away from being just bad.
Dallas. I think Minnesota was the move they made to eliminate Towns was to turn Anthony Edwards into a superstar.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go. I think Anthony Edwards is going to be the MVP this year, and I think he's probably going to average 35 points a game. I think he is going to be unleashed on this league this year.
I think that I'm going to go with Luka. I'm going to go with Luka because I do think the Mavericks they look better in the regular season. I think they'll be the third best regular season team in the West, and I think that'll be enough to get Luka an MVP. Claymore says, how do you have Minnesota ahead of Dallas when we stomped Minnesota? Claymore, I've got news for you. Minnesota was better than Dallas in the regular season last year. So you can crying laugh at that all you want, but that happened. The Mavericks had a good playoff run, but if they ran the playoffs 5 times, the Mavericks might have made it to the finals once last year.
And all the teams, AJ, of all of them, they are the easiest to become irrelevant. If Luka was to miss any kind of time,
and he's already banged up to start the season,
that's my concern.
I would say Denver more so than them is dependent on one person's health.
Yeah, but even Denver can roll out a Jamal Murray. I mean, and have a little bit of something. They got Kyrie and what?
Derrick Lively.
An alley-oop dude. I mean, yeah, I'm not discounting. I think Lively's the reason that if Luka does stay healthy, they're in the Western Conference Finals because of Lively, not because of Kyrie, but because Lively provides that low-post alley-oop lob offense that they've so desperately needed for a long time. But more importantly, the defense he offers as he protects Luka on the edge, who isn't going to play any kind of offense or defense. So I think it's his maturation that gets them into the Western Finals. But I would also say they're also the most likely to collapse, to become this year's Memphis. If there's any problems with Luka, they're done.
All right, we'll take a look at our predictions for the NBA Finals and our MVP, Defensive Player of the Year prediction on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1. I got to tell you about my good friends over at Carbach. I was there this weekend. Oh, I was in that tap room. I was drinking all their goodies. I was drinking the Love Street Peach. I had the Carbach Juicy IPA. Oh, they had some good stuff on tap for you there. They had the Mother-in-Law, one of their all-timers, on the list last week. So good. And their Carbachtoberfest, which, by the way, right now you can find in stores. Fantastic beer. But where you're going to be able to find everywhere, you're going to be able to find Love Street everywhere. You're going to be able to find Hopadillo everywhere. You're going to be able to find Crawford Bock everywhere. And those are the mainstays. Those are the beers that made Karbach what they are. And I got to tell you, that Hopadillo, if you're an IPA fan, Hopadillo is as good as any brewed in Texas. And like I said, a lot of people just don't realize that this is around, this is available. So if you're used to drinking the same old, and you're like, man, I'd like to try something that might be my flavor profile, but just a little bit better, a little bit amped up, give Karbach a try. It's going to be in your grocery store. It's going to be in your liquor store. It's going to be at the bars and restaurants that you're going to. So keep an eye out for it. Next time you're out to eat, ask your bartender, hey, this time let's make it a Karbach.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. It's a busy morning rush hour. We still have 2 closures. 1604 southbound Lookout over to 35. Major accident working. It's an hour delay avoided if at all possible. Otherwise, that backup starts at O'Connor. They are forcing traffic onto the frontage road. Loop 410 westbound shut down. Nacogdoches on over to Broadway, about a 25-minute delay. Major accident working here. Traffic is stopped from 35, and it looks like they are forcing traffic onto the exit road right at Harry Wurzbach. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
At least 5, if not 6 or 7. And it's a variety of birds. There looks to be, I'm thinking a couple of these are hawks. There's one clear buzzard because of the red head. The other one might be a vulture.
Are they a buzzard the same as a vulture?
Well, I think they're 2 different birds, aren't they?
I don't think so. We say buzzard in Texas, and then they say vulture in Yankees.
Ride home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
For a limited time, get a free K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut water softener. Clean, great tasting water at your kitchen sink. Hurry before they're gone.
Call 656-PURE Connecticut.
Having trouble finding that luxury timepiece you've been dreaming about? You might be surprised to find it at Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct now invites you to our exclusive luxury watch collection, now stocked with some hard-to-find brand new and certified pre-owned Swiss timepieces. At Diamonds Direct, our buyers have been scouring the country finding the watches you can't get anywhere else, including a fabulous collection of new and pre-owned models in immaculate condition from Rolex, Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, Richard Mille, and more. We've got Rolex Submariners, Datejust, Pepsis, Batmans, and other hard sought-after models. So if you're tired of waiting for years to get that luxury watch you've been wanting, stop waiting. Walk out with it today at Diamonds Direct. And if you have a fine Swiss watch you want to sell, our buyers are always willing to pay top dollar. Maybe it's time for a trade-in or trade-up. Come and see the all-new luxury watch collection at Diamonds Direct. Get showroom directions, hours, and learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Proud to call Alamo City home. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
911, what's your emergency?
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In San Antonio, 5 domestic violence calls happen every hour.
The time to end domestic violence in our community is now.
Step out of violence.
You are not alone.
Call 211 for help. Call 911 if it's an emergency.
The 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard is hiring both full and part-time positions with over 180 different career choices, including cyber, healthcare, communications, avionics, electronics, and more. The Texas Air National Guard offers a variety of ways you can serve. Earn education benefits that would cover tuition towards a bachelor's degree. To learn more, Google the 149th Fighter Wing. That's the 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard.
Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Do you want control of the process, or are you willing to let your spouse dictate the terms? If you're serious about safeguarding your assets during a divorce, then Barton & Associates is your law firm. As the owner of Barton & Associates, I will ensure my attorneys act swiftly and decisively to protect what's rightfully yours. Be in control of your divorce. Visit TexasDivorce.com or call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Gilberto, says Minnesota let go of Cat 2. Thunder and Mavericks, top 2 teams in the West, regardless of the standings.
I think they let go of Cat to unleash AE.
Naz Reid.
Don't discount Naz. That guy.
No, I agree.
One of the best 6 men in basketball. But this was about freeing Anthony Edwards. That's what this was all about. They added some more offense. They brought some with Randall, but this was to clear the lane and clear the opportunities for Anthony.
I think the downside to the Karl Anthony Towns trade is the guy they got back can't shoot. And now you're going to have Randall on the floor at the same time as Gobert. And that's 2 guys that can't shoot.
2 guys that are also black holes. Yeah, there's going to be a problem there.
And Randall, unfortunately, believes he can shoot.
Right.
And those are my least favorite players. Guys who think they can shoot that can't are my least favorite.
And he does have a fair amount of offensive acumen. I don't hate Randall. He's a poor man's Karl Anthony Towns, to be quite frank. They're not better, but they're not worse after this deal. I think that Anthony Edwards will more than make up for the offense they lost. And Cat can be a decent, edge defender. He's never been a post presence. They're going to miss some of that, but I'm not sure how much better Minnesota's going to be, but I just feel like now is Anthony Edwards' time.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't know that Naz Reid's not going to be better than Cat. Like I mean, it was nice having him as a guy off the bench, but I don't know that. I mean, they'll look different.
They're going to rebound better and play better interior defense. That's what they're going to do, and they're going to roll out a twin tower defense that's going to be pretty respectable. They're a very good to great basketball team.
Well, they're certainly. I mean, last year I remember in the playoffs we're like, they've got elite defenders at all but one spot, and Karl Anthony Towns is an above-average defender. He's the worst defender on the floor, and he's an above-average defender.
And you add Jaden's only getting better. I mean, they're athletic, they're long, they're really good. The West is so ridiculously deep that even their records won't reflect how good they are. We're just going to see it when we get into the playoffs.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get down to nut cutting time, as they say. Who you got in your Western Conference Finals? Who are your final 2?
The 2 teams we've been talking about: Oklahoma City, Minnesota.
That's what and who do you have winning?
I have Oklahoma City. I know that he does too, but I think I have it for different reasons. But I think Oklahoma City is the class of the West. They're just so deep. They can withstand some injuries. They can defend you at every position. They got a guy that can stop you at it, whether it be Shea or they can go big. We know what Chet does on the back end. Dort is a killer defender. They just do everything well. They just have a very, very deep and good basketball team, and those are the ones that are always there at the end.
I'll go with Oklahoma City over. I'll go with Oklahoma City over Dallas. I don't think Dallas was a flash in the pan last year. I think they'll get hot in the playoffs again. Now, obviously, a lot of this is going to be health reliant because, like you said, they are very, very, very dependent on one guy's results. But I think that's good enough. But I do think Oklahoma City's the cream of the West. I just think they're so good everywhere, and I think every player on their team has not even reached full peak yet. Yeah, that's the scary thing about that team. What about the Eastern Conference? Edwin has Celtics over the Knicks.
I think that the 76ers are primed. Adding the offense that they added and a guy that has just enough ego to allow Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey to continue to grow and be stars, but also enough skill to win games. I think Philadelphia is primed to win the East. I think there's gonna be a transition. I think the Celtics are no team's repeated since 17. I think with Golden State, it's difficult at best, and Jason Tatum's barely adequate psycho defenses might not hold up.
I'm going the same way. It sounds crazy for a team that was a play-in team a year ago, but
no Embiid for a month. I mean, yeah, they didn't have him.
I'm pretty sure Embiid's going to miss plenty of games this year. But come playoff time, I'm hoping that all the things that they're doing are going to lead to him being healthy for the playoffs. And Joel Embiid's the best player in the league that doesn't have a ring. I think he is. I mean, it's him or Luka, and I'll hear an argument for both. But Joel Embiid's been playing at an MVP level for a long time and just hasn't been rewarded with the big prize. I think that he's due to at least get a crack at it. So we've got the same finals. You got OKC or Philly winning the whole thing.
I'm gonna go with Philly.
I'll go the opposite. I'll go Oklahoma City. So I'm gonna go Oklahoma City over Philly. You go Philly over OKC.
And it's by a hair.
And Edwin has OKC over Boston. Vic didn't turn in his picks. I don't know why. He decided not to play the game. MVP, you got Anthony Edwards?
I think it's Anthony Edwards, but I will say this. If the Mavericks do what you think they're going to do, it'll be Luka.
Okay.
But my money's on Anthony and the Timberwolves because I think they're going to do it that way, so I'm going to go that route. But if Dallas is what you think it is, it'll be Luka, but I think it'll be between those two.
And he's going Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Defensive Player of the Year?
He lives here.
Okay.
Wemby, of course. Just put his name on it for the next decade.
I'm gonna go with Chet Holmgren.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I think at the end of the year, and I do think Wemby's gonna have some impressive stats, but I think OKC is gonna be an elite defensive team.
A better team.
And I think they're gonna take that into account. And I don't think Wemby's gonna again have better numbers than Chet defensively, but I don't think they'll be miles and miles apart. And for whatever reason, I trust Chet staying healthy more than Wemby.
Considering he's already lost a year.
And but Chet played 82 games last year.
Well, I'm just saying he did miss a year.
Yeah.
But the likelihood of both. I'm not going to argue with it because I think in any other world he would be that. But, Wemby is here too.
Rookie of the Year, Edwin says Reed Shepherd.
I'm going to go Zach Edey.
I'm going to go Dalton Connect. I just think it's going to be opportunity for him. He's going to have a ton of opportunities because there's going to be days where LeBron ain't playing. There's going to be days where Anthony Davis isn't playing. Somebody's got to score, and I know that dude's going to be willing to try. So that's where I'll look for him.
I go Edey just because he's going to give you 15 and 8 every night. Now, he won't give you 20 and 10, but he's going to give you 15 and 8 every night.
And best record?
I think, it's going to be out of the East because the West is so tough. So by my picks, I'm going to go Philadelphia.
I'll go the Celtics, even though I think Philly's going to win the East, just because I think Philly's going to deprioritize regular season.
And you know what? That's probably the better pick because we know they've already said Embiid's going to take some time. And Philly is a regular season, and they could win this whole thing, but they're built for the regular season. That's what they do.
What do the Spurs do? What's the final results for the Spurs?
36 wins, a breath away from the play-in, but an extra ping-pong ball for Cooper Flag.
Okay. I'm going to go a little more than 36. I'm going to say they get 39. I think they're going to be right there with the Rockets as the best team that doesn't make the playoffs.
Now, I have said, and I will stand by this, if the Spurs are in the playoffs, like legit playoff, no play-in, or just
a top
playing
6
down,
seed?
Or playing down, they're playing a 10, Wemby's the MVP. If they get there, if the Spurs are playoff team, if they are, Wemby's the MVP. You want to talk about a guy that has lifted literally nothing around him to the playoffs, it's him.
Yeah. No, it's hard to argue that. I can't think of – Yeah, I can't think of another guy who is working with less.
He is 11. Chris Paul is at 99. That's it, according to the experts. And you're telling me that's a playoff team? Wemby's the MVP if they're a playoff team.
I think that's a good point. And likely Defensive Player of the Year as well.
Yeah, go along with
all those things. But, I have a hard time picturing that.
Think that's going to happen, yeah.
But it'd be fun, man. And
Rookie of the Year, Reed, he has Reed Shepherd. Anybody else out there we're looking at? Because I had Edie. You like Connect.
Is Castle worth mentioning?
Well, I want to bring him in there.
It seems like he's going to get some volume, too.
I think for Castle, I think it's going to be more about role definition. Once we define what he's going to be, then he can go be that.
Well, I think that bringing in Chris Paul defined the role for him.
Well, I hope. And, I was kind of surprised to see so many point guards on this roster. I thought one or two might be let go, and Castle would be able to do a little bit of swing. But I think that
the roster kind of tells you what
he's
going to be.
A 2-3, not a 2-1. That's what he's going to
be. The favorite for Rookie of the Year is Zach Edey plus 350. Reed Shepherd 7-1. Risa Shea 9-1 is your third favorite.
No.
Matas Buzelis is 10-1.
Better shot than Risa Shea.
And then Castle and Connect are 11-1.
I saw Connect play a pretty good game, and Castle looks like an NBA player already. He looks like he's very comfortable on this court, and there's not too much that's overwhelming him.
I'll give you a long shot. He is 40-1. Terrence Shannon Jr. is already a grown-ass man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how. I think he's 23 or 24.
He's a bucket. There's no question. Now,
and he's going to be playing on a very good team. That helps.
Now, will he be able to play defense that'll keep him on the court? And will his off-the-court, whatever he is, allow him to be what he's capable of being?
Yeah. And remember, that's a voted-on award. So, guys with past rape accusations don't usually get a lot of love. But
skeletons hanging around, but he can ball, that's for sure.
But I think now, like Brandon Miller had some skeletons in college, and nobody's thinking about Brandon Miller like that anymore. They're thinking, oh, Brandon Miller can ball.
Yeah, he was just in the wrong room at the wrong time. He gave his friend the keys or something.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Donovan Clingan, my guy, 20-1. I just think his team's going to be too bad.
Yeah, let's not forget. Yeah, he's going to play a role.
You talk about guys who are going to be on the floor. He'll be on the floor.
Yeah, all the guys that we've talked about in all those draft scenarios, we're finally going to get to start seeing. And then it's going to be a weird 2 weeks when you turn on the TV and you see your first Mavericks game and you see Klay Thompson running around in a blue uniform, or you turn on the Sixers and you see Paul George running in a Sixers uniform. It's going to be weird. You're going to see Russell running around with the Nuggets. It's going to be kind of an adjustment period for a couple of weeks as we see new guys in new places. But at the end of the day, it'll be the usual suspects.
I just clicked over to Defensive Player of the Year odds. Victor Wembanyama is a minus 170 favorite. Like, that is prohibitive for a preseason award.
It's going to be difficult for him not to be.
Holmgren's 12-1. He is the second favorite at 12-1, which I'm going to put some bucks on, by the way, just for my reasoning from before. Gobert 14-1. Adebayo 14-1. Evan Mobley 16-1. It's wild that he is that big of a favorite. He's minus money, and like the next closest guy is plus 1,200.
Well, we've all seen him play. I'm not surprised, man.
Holy hell.
We're talking about the one thing that differentiates him from the previous, Gobert is Victor does it at all three levels. He'll defend on the edge. He will steal the ball. He'll block a shot. He will completely cut a half of the court down. You have to account for him every second he's on the court. It'll be very difficult for him not to get it, especially given as many opportunities as he's going to be on national TV to just showcase just that, just enough to be in mind with a fair to bad team.
Edwin had most improved player. He put Evan Mobley. I think Victor Wembanyama is almost a lock to be the most improved player.
I don't know what the qualifications for this are.
It's voted on, so there are none.
Is it Evan because he didn't have a Rookie of the Year and he had to, get better over 2 years to get it? Is it stat-driven? Is it, I think there's a lot of that's the one award I don't ever want to win, number one. And number two, I don't know how you quantify it because, yes, Wemby, by every measure already, by the votes for, player ranking, went from, 47 to 11?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's already the most improved.
Do you think that there's any what would you say the chances are that Victor can be named first-team All-NBA?
Very high. Again, if the Spurs are in playoff contention, every other award other than Rookie of the Year, which is already there, or Defensive Player of the Year, suddenly becomes available.
I guess the problem for Wemby is Jokic and Embiid play the same position as him, technically, like at least what the voters will say.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be hard to get him on first team. But if you think he can be a first-team All-NBA plus 650.
What I would do if I was playing that money is I would look down the road and see when on national TV, when are the matchups with Joker? When are we going to see some face-to-faces where, we can get a definitive look at the two and see if that's national TV, where those games are. Start looking at those to see if Wemby will even have a chance,
Yeah.
to show off Luka, because Luka's going to be doing it every night.
All right, hour number 4 coming up. Good stuff, Rob. Thank you for your NBA knowledge. And thanks to Edwin, who didn't show up to work, but did do this. We'll be back. We'll wrap up one more hour to go on a Tuesday. We're wrapping it up a Tuesday on the Morning Huddle 94.1.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. It's a busy morning rush hour. We still have 2 closures. 1604 southbound Lookout over to 35. Major accident working. It's an hour delay avoided if at all possible. Otherwise, that backup starts at O'Connor. They are forcing traffic onto the frontage road. Loop 410 westbound shut down. Nacogdoches on over to Broadway, about a 25-minute delay. Major accident working here. Traffic is stopped from 35, and it looks like they are forcing traffic onto the exit road right at Harry Wurzbach. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
1, 2, 3, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday night at 7:20 after a bye. It's the first of 2 road games. Dallas and San Francisco taking on the 49ers.
I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 6. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
You asked for it, you got it. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Do you want to add more fun to watching NFL games? Jason Minix here from The Blitz. Make sure you go download the Underdog Fantasy app or get signed up at UnderdogFantasy.com and start playing the Pick'em game. Love playing Pick'em just about every game I play. Love winning money. You too can as well. Win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player stats like passing yards, rushing yards, touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, field goals made. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward. Signing up is easy. Just go to the mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or go to ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR when you get signed up at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Halloween's coming alive at Target. Jackie and Gordy, the Jack-O-Lanterns, here with a front porch view of Target's Halloween deals, like Best House on the Block trick-or-treat candy starting at $5.99.
Sweet. Don't forget, can't wait to wear it costumes from $15.
Can't wait to see it. Oh, and decorating and pumpkin carving kits for $5.
That's how I got my big toothy grin.
This week only, trick-or-treat candy starts at $5.99, costumes from $15, and decorating and pumpkin carving kits for $5. Make your Halloween come alive at Target. Restrictions apply.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The Hurt app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. Hurt is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download Hurt now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The Hurt app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the Hurt app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Sponsored by Armstrong Pharmaceuticals.
San Antonio Sports Center.
Happy NBA Day. The season begins today with 2 games on the docket. The Knicks Celtics can be caught on our sister station, ESPN AM 1250. In the NFL, Baltimore punished the Bucks 41-31. The Cardinals edged the Chargers 17-15 with a walk-off field goal. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Yes, sir. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Last night, saw 2 wide receivers get hurt for the Bucks.
One worse than others.
Oh, man.
Yikes.
Chris Godwin, that was a rough one. Not ideal. Not ideal for the Bucks, who looked like had a little fight in them. And now, I don't know.
Well, I don't know how much of it was just Baltimore's stellar second and third quarters. I mean, there was some life in Tampa late. That broken ankle for Godwin was awful as they closed it out 31-41. The game was not that close. The score did not represent anything other than a late charge by Tampa. Baltimore just dominated that football game, apart from about the first 8 minutes.
They called Godwin a dislocated ankle.
Well, I know his foot was not facing the right direction. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen. 1:04 left in regulation.
Down 10, desperate. I mean, I get what they were doing. They did an onside kick, and I don't know how on earth an onside kick works now, but they got it. And, I get what they were doing. But when it happens, you look back and obviously go, what were we doing? Why? There wasn't going to happen, but you got to do it. And it was moderately successful. It looked like they were moving the ball.
Todd Bowles said, we don't second guess. He said, I do protect my players all the time. That has nothing to do with why we had him left in this ball game. We still had a shot to score some points and win the game. It happens. It happens in football.
It's not his fault. Everybody's going to feel guilty. Baker's going to feel bad for laying the ball out like he did. Bowles is going to be guilty for, allowing the offense to still. But they did the right thing. There's no.
Mayfield said the same thing. He said, we talked about it on the sideline, thinking if we get a quick touchdown, obviously get an onside kick. They'd already gotten one onside kick during the game.
It was a miracle.
said, get a quick touchdown or an onside kick. We got a possibility for a Hail Mary. We got a group of fighters. We all wanted a chance to try and win that thing some way, somehow.
No, Baker didn't throw an interception in the end zone in a previous possession. We're not in this situation, but
well, you're still losing, but you got to lose a little more fight in them.
It's rough, and you don't want to say it's football, but I will say over the last 2 weeks we have had a significant spate of significant injuries, like cart off the hospital update kind of injuries over 2 weeks, more than we've had the first month.
Another injury that is not ideal for a team that's got something to play for, Indiana football. Curtis Rourke, the Maple Missile.
The Maple Missile. Brilliant!
Underwent thumb surgery on his right thumb yesterday. Surgery was successful, and they say that he could be back by November 2nd.
And who are they playing on November the 2nd?
Michigan State.
Well, that's an easy one.
Doubtful for the game Saturday against Washington.
So is this is on his throwing hand, right?
Yeah.
All right.
He didn't play. Now, mind you, that's the craziest thing about the Nebraska game is he didn't even play in the second half against Nebraska.
No, didn't need to.
They buried that team. But they said they do expect him back at some point in the regular season. Indiana has the Washington game. Then they've got Sparty, Michigan, Ohio State, and Purdue. But, yeah, that would be a big loss without him. He is the sixth-year senior. He's hitting 75% of his passes, 15 touchdowns, 3 picks, and the number one scoring offense in the country, 48.7 points per game.
Now you hire coaches so they'll bring their quarterback with them.
Well, he didn't bring him. He brought this guy from Ohio.
Oh, I thought this guy came out of James Madison too.
No.
Oh, I thought he was a Madison type that he brought with him. So he played against him and brought him with him.
He was a MAC guy. And said, yeah, this guy can run my system, and it's working.
He's a baller. Now, he's I quantify, he's not a cannon arm guy, but he's Drew Brees with a little bit of size. It's accurate as all get out.
It's a little Tua-ish. Like,
I don't know how he gets it there, but it gets there on time, on target. That's the most fun football team I've watched this year.
Well, for me, it's Army. Army and UNLV. They're both so fun to watch.
Army is fun?
They really are.
All right.
They really are. They don't only run now. They throw some, and their quarterback is awesome.
He's fun.
Yeah. Indiana, 513 yards per game of total offense. Incredible. Indiana was 3-9 last year. You talk about making the right hire for your program.
And the right hire normally paid dividends in 4 years. It took a couple of recruiting classes and maybe a transfer here and there.
Welcome to the transfer era.
Now, man, the right coach with a couple of right players, and you can be there. Now, sustaining it has yet to be achieved for the lessers, but we'll see. Eventually, somebody is going to build a program.
Curt Cignetti wins. I win. That's all I do.
And Purdue sucks.
Google
I'll say it again.
Google me.
At some point, I do want to see a team build itself to become something different. Not a flash, not a now and gone kind of thing, but somebody somewhere, a team that we're not used to, is going to figure it out, and it might very well be Indiana.
In other news, the WNBA players have opted out of their collective bargaining agreement, and if they don't negotiate a new deal, there will be a work stoppage.
This is not unexpected.
No.
Everybody knew it was coming.
But this is going to be a fascinating negotiation because this is you're talking about we want salaries that are going to reflect our true value. Now imagine your company just lost $50 million and has lost on average, what do we say, $10, $11 million a year for the last history of time.
Oh, yeah. Every year. They've never made a profit.
And you finally look like maybe you're about to make some profit. And before you get into that profit, the players are like, well, we think we deserve more of this. Man, that's a tough pill to swallow for ownership, right?
Well, yes and no. Right now, players receive about 20% of the gross, somewhere in there. The WNBA players get about 20% of the gross, and the owners take a whopping share, but they're losing money.
Yeah.
But they're about not to lose money. The percentage is going to jump. The WNBA, everybody's probably going to end up with about a 35 to 40% bump. It's just, you can't. We're dealing in dollar amounts that are now exponential, 10x from what they were with what they're dealing with now. Now, that doesn't kick in for another year. So everybody knew the renegotiation was coming. I get you. I see what you're saying. But what was no longer is. Caitlin Clark now sells product, and she brings viewers. That they didn't have that, and they got 3 now that do it.
Do you think ratings will be better in the WNBA last year or next year?
They're going to be better next year.
I don't think so.
I would ordinarily agree with you. Now, I'm not saying it's going to stay, but I do think that there's still enough chicken on that bone. There's still enough to learn about Caitlin. But more importantly, I think what she has done over the last 3 years has gotten little girls playing. And little girls playing means they're going to start watching, and if they're watching, so are their dads. So I do think that the audience is going to grow just because the sport is growing, not anything other than now we got girls going and playing on. I saw a news story in New York where the city parks are having a reserve course for women. Never been a thing before, and I don't think they're the only place that's doing that. I do think that the ladies' game, is growing, and it's going to continue to grow. So do I? Yeah, I do. I think it will.
I think this is the equivalent of when David Beckham came to the MLS, and it was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. And then a year went by, and it was like, it's okay. Still not great quality stuff. And okay.
But, okay, I
or
agree
when that gal ripped her shirt off after they won the World Cup.
But that was not our sport. This is a sport that...
Ladies sports in our country is not our sport.
Well, women, I would beg to differ if you're a women's soccer player. That is our sport. We are huge women's soccer fans. Now, maybe not as much anymore, but World Cup, we all knew every player. I could name World Cup women's soccer players more than I could name WNBA players. So I disagree. If you're winning, we'll pay attention. But the sport, it's going to grow, AJ, just because there's more channels of delivery. They've already doubled that. There's a name worth tuning in, and there's more coming. Now, is it sustainable in 5 years? We'll see. But if it doesn't grow next year, and we're just talking about, you don't have to make a big profit, but you're going to have to make a little bit more, because the following year, the profits start. Mm-hmm. That's when the new TV deal kicks in. That's when the new CBA will probably kick in. And we're going to see players make about 30 to 40% of the gross, which will make players getting paid in the hundreds of thousands and nearly $1 million on a regular basis. And if the TVs continue to roll, they'll get more and more of the gross in the next time they negotiate. But it ain't going anywhere. It's only getting bigger.
The U.S. audience for the FIFA Women's World Cup final was 2.2 million viewers over Fox, Telemundo, Universo, and Peacock. That is down 75% from 2019. 87% lower from the high water mark 2015.
Yeah, when they were winning.
We get over things real quick in this country.
Yeah, but when you're winning, we'll pay attention. And Caitlin and you name the players, they're winning. They're on. They're front and center. ESPN's telling us to go. It's growing, AJ.
Caitlin lost in the first round of the playoffs.
You can fight it. You can say it's not worth it. But over the next 3 years, this game is going to grow just because the channels are now available. You're going to get it on Amazon. You're going to get it on ESPN. You're going to have it delivered in ways. Used to, as Ion, where could you find a women's game?
Dude, every time I turn on ESPN Plus, there's a lady basketball game if I want to watch it. I just don't want to watch it.
Well, you don't. And you're not the audience they're chasing. We are not the audience that the WNBA is chasing. They're chasing all those little girls that are suddenly now playing. They're chasing all those high school girls that were watching men. That's what they had to watch. Now they got women to watch and to emulate. It's gonna grow. Now, can they sustain it over the long run and justify this massive hundreds of millions of dollars investment? That's where we're gonna see. But next year, they're gonna be able to pat themselves on the back and say, look at how well we're growing. But after that, they're going to have to give us something a little bit more compelling than new faces and names. And 45 years ago, when the NBA was televised at night, remember, there were tape-delayed NBA Finals games. They would already be played, and at 10:30 at night, we watched NBA playoff games. That's where the NBA was in the early 80s, and the WNBA is in the same place. And what they decided then was names faces sell this game, not teams. So we need faces. We got Magic and Larry, and now we got Caitlin and name your other. And that's what they're going to bank on, and they better hope they're marketable. And if they are, they're going to grow just like the WNBA did. Not to the same level. It'll never be that. But percentages of viewers, I think there's enough there. I do it. Now, it'll never be me. It'll never be you. But your daughters and your daughters' friends, it'll be them.
Yeah. The players are going to get more money. There's no doubt. I just don't know if it's going to be if it's going to work out for these owners. And I think there's going to be owners who, dude, if you're running a farm that is losing money for 25 years and then you got a couple carrots sprout up, you don't want to start paying your carrot pickers double the wages.
I don't trust corporate accounting. You can tell me, and I would think that if I was an owner and I had an NBA franchise with a WNBA franchise attached to it, that I would have that asset depreciating. I would have that, everything, every possible loss, I would attach to my WNBA team to save on taxes. I imagine most of them are losing a little bit of money, but ain't nobody going broke being part of the WNBA. I refuse to believe it.
I think none of the NBA or none of the WNBA owners have gone broke because it's all a pet project to them. And they get some goodwill.
They became billionaires for a reason. They're here to make some money.
Yeah.
I mean, and you make money sometimes by losing money. I mean, and that might be it. They're saving money in taxes or whatever else for that with their bigger projects. But there ain't nobody involved in this that is losing $10 million a year. Nobody.
Okay.
You know, just think about it. And I hate it when teams or corporations feed us that we had a loss. Well, you've carried previous losses forward, and but at the end of the day, everybody got paid, right? The doors are still open, the power's on.
These owners haven't lost money, but do you believe that the NBA has lost a ton of money?
I think that they have lost a fair amount. I think the league itself has, but you can quant it as loss or investment in future return. But yes, they are down.
But the NBA is when you say investment in future return, do you think once the WNBA gets profitable, they're going to pay back what the NBA lost investing in them?
No. What do you mean? It's part of the entity. They're one and the same. There's no returning them.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like how long is it going to take for the NBA to say, okay, we believed in the WNBA and we are now in the black on our investment? How many years?
2 years.
That's insane.
No, and suddenly the influx of cash is coming. It's coming, and we know exactly how much it's going to be. Now, it's incumbent upon the local franchises to fill the seats and sell the local advertising, but we're talking about $1 billion coming around the corner. Right. I mean, it's going to be an ocean of money comparatively to it's not nearly the amount that the NBA is dealing with, but coming from players that are out making $75,000 a year?
They're about to start paying these girls millions of dollars.
Yeah, well, not all of them, but yeah.
And the business model is not going to hold up.
You know, I wouldn't compare it to what we see with the NBA and the NFL. They don't need that big a slice of the pie. They just need to carve out women's sports fans. And I think that market is underappreciated. We saw it with Travis Kelce and all of the Swifties. There's a market in there of women who are on the edges of sports fandom. A huge market. Whether they're doing it because their favorite star is a girl that's dating one, but they did get them. The NFL got them, and I think the NBA is looking at all those women that if they're interested in basketball or football, heck, we got girls that are actually doing this, and they're good at it. And we got models in L.A., we got the next Larry Bird in Indiana. We got a title in New York. I think that the pie will never be what NBA is, but it'll be big enough to make a lot of money and be successful. Equal to, at its highest aspiration, I think they can be equal to, say what's our American soccer league? What's the step?
NWSL.
What is San Antonio's soccer league? One step below that. Whatever San Antonio is, that is the WNBA's highest aspiration. And that's success. That's money. Everybody making money.
All right.
But that's such a small piece.
But those soccer players in San Antonio aren't making $1 million a year.
They don't have the TV deal, but they'll get one. You know, they're going to have the women are going to get a TV deal. But as far as pay scale, the women aren't making what these guys are.
What, the soccer players are?
Yeah, the women aren't making what these guys are.
I think they are. I think they're going to make more.
I think the average soccer player is making more than $75,000 a year.
No, I'm saying once they renegotiate this.
Once they but the money doesn't come for 2 years. They're going to renegotiate it, but there's still no money next year, and it's going to look even worse. They're going to carry forward some losses. They're going to go. The league this year lost $60 million, but I'm not going to paint them as a success. But they're certainly not going to be a failure.
Okay. All right. Let's hit a break. When we come back, we will take a look at what's going on in the world of not sports. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
And funny how the WNBA might quantify that, too. I want to talk about how you're feeling today. Did you wake up this morning in pain? Is there anything keeping you out of life? And so many of us live with things that kind of slow us down. You might not miss things, but you certainly don't enjoy them the way you could if you could move the way you wanted. And if that's you, listen close. There's a fix out there. It's Arasti. Arasti providers are trained to get you out of pain in ways you might not have considered. So many of us go to the doctor and we're prescribed a pill or maybe some kind of long-term physical therapy program to get us back in the game, when quite frankly, there are other avenues that work very, very well. Arasti has a proven track record of getting their patients back in the game in under 4 visits. So if you're dealing with a soft tissue injury, a sprain or a strain, maybe it's a frozen shoulder or lower back issues, give Arasti a shot. 96%, of Arasti patients would more than happily recommend Arasti to their friends and family. That's the kind of recommendation we're looking for. Write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. The website is arasti.com. You don't need a referral to call, and you never need to don't need to worry about them taking their insurance. They accept most. Call them today. Change your life. Get yourself back in the game when you do. Come by and thank me later.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one and has some fun with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
Now, you don't got a contract. You got nothing to lose. Is a 70-yard field goal in the offing soon? Will we see that this year?
Oh, depends on the win this week.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Get your holidays started with the perfect tree in your perfect style from the Home Depot. Whether you want something that you can assemble in a few clicks, steal the show with over 2,000 color-changing bulbs, or a tree with lights that can be controlled by remote or foot pedal. The Home Depot has it all in our huge assortment of premium trees. Plus, get free delivery on over 2 million items this holiday from the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see homedepot.com/delivery for details.
With Progressive, you get more than savings. You get access to us through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
Oh, I see what you're doing here, Jamie. Giving me all these ways to stay in touch so I have no excuse not to. Well, you're in luck, because this guy's in the market for a new BFF.
Actually, all our customers can contact us this way.
Oh. Yeah, no, I was just kidding.
But I am always up for Taco Pizza! Oh, Jigsaw!
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
When we talk about what kind of eggs and bacon we're going to have in that tailgate.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I look forward to the day, and y'all will have me in about a decade where I'm out there just having some tailgate, not a worry in the world.
See, a decade, Coach. You get about 30 more years of roaming the sidelines for UTSA.
Brother, this year's taking 7 off of me, so I don't know if I can handle 30 more. Dog years.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. We're making our move into hump day.
Oh, almost there.
Almost there. Almost there, friends. Every day around this time, we like to look at what's going on in the world of non-sports. And there's a woman who dropped her phone in Australia, and it's down in a crevice. It's a bad spot to drop a phone. It's like, oh, well, there it goes.
Like, what do you mean kind of crevice?
Like a rock crevice. Okay. How far are you willing to go to try and get your phone?
You mean like, how much will I do?
Yeah.
Not a lot. It's insured.
That's what I'm thinking. And this lady wanted her phone so badly that she, crawled down.
Oh, my gosh, man. There must have been some incriminating pictures on that phone. It must have been her showing off her nipples, because I'm not going into a cave.
She was wedged between boulders for 7 hours after going headfirst into a 3-meter crevice trying to get her phone. Her friends initially spent an hour attempting to free her while she was hanging upside down before they called the Australian version of 911, which is 000. They had to remove several heavy boulders to create a safe access point. Then, with both feet now accessibles, they navigated her feet first up through a tight S-bend, which took an hour.
It's a tough chick, man. I appreciate the attitude. But, if they'd have left her there, she'd have gotten skinny. She'd have gotten out.
It would have been. You remember that? Or she would have just sawed part of her body off, like in that movie.
Gnawed it off.
Remember in that movie?
Yeah,
where
115, whatever it was. Where he cut his
hand off, or was it his hand or his foot? It was his hand, wasn't it?
I believe it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crushed in a boulder.
Cut his arm off with a damn pocket knife.
Tougher than me.
You would have just died?
Oh, I'd have been dead.
Yeah.
I'd have used that knife for another thing. Dude, this ain't good.
Let's see. Oh. This is a bad call. This was a San Antonio thing. A baby was killed.
Oh, I know. This is
How did this happen?
I don't know how the kid got the gun.
After being accidentally shot by a child in the parking lot?
It is literally as bad a thing as you can imagine.
A 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 10-month-old baby were inside a vehicle in the parking lot of the VA hospital. And either the 3-year-old or the 2-year-old found a rifle in the trunk of the vehicle and accidentally shot the baby.
I can't even.
What happened? Like, does the mom get arrested here?
Yes.
How do you leave your kids alone in the car? Not only alone in the car, which we all know, don't leave kids alone in the car.
Yeah, there is not a, don't try to make sense out of nonsense. This is horrible at every measure. Yes.
Crazy. One of my favorite things is Elon Musk is getting extremely political these days.
He's looking for a job.
Boy, very, very political. He's made his, and listen, everybody's allowed to pimp whatever candidate you want to. He owns a business that gives him a hell of a platform to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So Elon's all over Twitter stumping for Don. But he does say that people should have kids and stop worrying about the cost of them, because worrying about the cost of kids is silly.
Well, when you're a billionaire.
When you're the richest man in the world, can you tell people not to worry about the cost of things?
Well,
I don't know that that's... No.
Well, there's all the jokes about, can you even name all your kids? Can you name them?
Him and, what's his name, Cromartie?
Yeah, just name your kids, and then we'll talk about kids.
Pie.
Yeah, like Banjo, Wingspan.
ZVR2M.
Infinity.
And name your kids, and then if you can name them all and tell me exactly where they are right now, you can talk to me about kids.
C4PO. I don't remember. I don't remember the rest of them. And this is another Texas story. A Texas man was pulled over while test driving a truck. And this is in Prosper, Texas.
Prosper,
by the way.
that's
North Dallas. He was, checking out vehicles. He'd recently lost his son in a car accident, so he was already in bad shape. But now he's in a feud with the police department there in Prosper. The problem is they pulled him over and said, well, you don't have a license plate on your car. We're going to give you a citation. He's like, well, I'm test driving this car. This isn't my car. And apparently, he said this thing has been ongoing with these dealers. In order for us to make the dealerships abide, we're going to start citing the customers, and was handed a $250 ticket. The Prosper Police Department confirmed that it is the dealership's responsibility to ensure their vehicles have proper tags, but failure to properly display dealer tags on test-driven vehicles is apparently going to be passed on to the customers.
What?
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Now, the police taxes of issuing citations, it says, is presumably meant to scare people out of buying cars from dealerships that don't comply. But who's that screwing? That screws the people.
Well, yeah, my advice to you is if that does in fact occur, take it to trial.
In this case, the guy, he didn't buy the truck, so it worked. I guess it worked for the cops. All right, when we come back, we'll do what we always do around this time. We'll take a look at the daily lines. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I hope you woke this morning and got out from underneath a Connecticut water-softened shower. If you did, you started your day the way most good San Antonians did. If you didn't, I want to talk to you about a Connecticut water softener. South San Antonio, South Texas, we are perfect for Connecticos, which are in fact designed and built in the United States. But more importantly, Connecticut's been taking care of us in San Antonio for a long, long time. And if you don't have a Connecticut, it's been kind of difficult at times to get one. Right now, if you'll call 656-PURE, they're going to come out and put a brand new Kinetico in your home for 90 days and not ask you for a penny and prove it to you. And when you decide that you want this Kinetico, like all of us, there is a bonus for you. For a limited time right now, you're going to get a reverse osmosis drinking station installed free of charge in your kitchen sink. I'm talking about never having to buy another bottle of water again. Purified water at your disposal whenever you want it. Your water will taste better, and it'll make sure that everything you need that's water-based will have everything the Kinetico can offer. And that's right now. Call 656-PURE. Have them come out and pull it in your home. You'll see what I'm talking about, and then you're going to get the reverse osmosis just for doing what most of San Antonio has already done. Become a Kinetico customer. Call them today. Get yourself a Kinetico. I know you're going to be happy with it, and you'll be thanking me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, Jerry Jones back on the radio. A lot of reaction there, I know. Can't wait.
We'll talk about that and look ahead to San Francisco with Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk. She joins us at 5:15.
And how about those Houston Texans? A tough one in Green Bay. Indy Kalu's going to have a lot to say about that when he joins us at 3:30.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast Burrito. Wendy's Breakfast Burrito is everything you want for breakfast. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese sauce, bacon or sausage, all rolled up into one warm tortilla. Want the boss of breakfast burritos? Gotta be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
911, what's your emergency?
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In San Antonio, 5 domestic violence calls happen every hour.
The time to end domestic violence in our community is now.
Step out of violence.
You are not alone.
Call 211 for help. Call 911 if it's an emergency.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
The 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard is hiring both full and part-time positions with over 180 different career choices, including cyber, healthcare, communications, avionics, electronics, and more. The Texas Air National Guard offers a variety of ways you can serve. Earn education benefits that would cover tuition towards a bachelor's degree. To learn more, Google the 149th Fighter Wing. That's the 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard.
Howdy, Ags. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, inviting you to watch all A&M games at the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road. Owned by Chip Ingram, class of '98, the Angry Elephant is known for their liberal cocktails at conservative prices and the best hot dog in Texas. Since 2012, the Angry Elephant's been the place to watch A&M, and this year is no different. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Rue Pub at 281 and Redland Road. The Angry Elephant. Like your bar, love your Aggies. Gig 'em.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 11 locations and check out our tractor package deals. We're offering 0 down and 0 APR financing for 84 months or up to $3,300 off select compact tractors. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package specials at ewaldkubota.com.
Now through December 31st, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Join the Blitz live on Thursday from 2 to 6. We're going to be at Little Woodrow's on Braun Road. So get you ready for Thursday night football between Minnesota and Los Angeles.
We haven't been to Little Woodrow's in a minute. Back over there.
They'll be there with Flight by Yingling. They're going to have your chances to win passes to the Bill Bates Ultimate Tailgate Party for November 10th, plus tickets to the Dallas-Philadelphia game up in Arlington. It's all brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
It's a good throwdown up there. Went to it. The Bill Bates tailgate.
Oh, yes.
Hung out with Bill and who else was there? Drew and who else? Tight end.
Dan Campbell.
No, it's Jay.
Jay Novacek.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thursday, after that little program ends, at 6:30, you'll have the pregame for Vikings-Rams right here on San Antonio's Sports Stars. That's Thursday Night Football is also presented by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Flight by Yingling's all over the place with this Thursday Night Football.
Good stuff.
They love it. All right, let's do what we always do this time of day. Let's take a look at the Daily Lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the Daily Lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
The Daily Lines brought to you by SA Card House, San Antonio's premier card house, located 281 and Bitters. I'm going to be in there at some point this week playing in a tournament. Haven't decided which one.
And Wednesday night, the big evening, don't they do something every Wednesday night?
They've got they literally have a tournament every night.
Every night?
Every night. Sometimes 2 a day.
Sometimes with 2 in a tournament.
Wait, that's true.
Tag team like last.
Tag team back again. Let's take a look at what's going on in the world of sports betting, and we'll start in the world of college football. We got college football matches tonight, Rob.
In Texas. We have a Texas theme tonight.
Yep, 2 big ones. I mean, huge.
Well, not in Texas, just two Texas teams that are traveling elsewhere to play.
Sam Houston hitting the road. Eat 'em up Cats. I bet on them last week.
Yeah.
They're not getting my money again. They pissed me off.
Is this the team, Florida International? Are they the ones that had the riot on the sidelines?
I think so, yeah. FIU.
I kind of like this Sam Houston.
The Sam Houston 4.5-point favorites at Florida International. And then the other game, UTEP, 6-point dogs going to Louisiana Tech. I don't particularly love either of these games, but I think that there is some value on the over in the UTEP game. There's been a quarterback change at Louisiana Tech, and they look like they're kind of starting to figure it out. So I might go, and UTEP's defense is just dreadful. So I think I might go with the over in that one, but I don't know that I want to watch either one of these games.
I'm not paying any attention to any of this.
These are going to be ugly football games.
I'm happy for them that are alumni. I just won't be paying any attention.
And that's okay.
Yeah, no.
That's okay. And we got worse games tomorrow. Don't worry. There's worse. Tomorrow we got I'll just go ahead and give you I won't give you the teams. I'm going to tell you the 2 lines for tomorrow's games. You've got a 25.5-point road favorite and a 20.5-point home favorite. So,
well, they're not giving us their best, but they're giving us something.
Yeah. Did you see who we're giving to Germany? The NFL Germany game?
Oh no. Is this weekend?
No, I think it's in November. But you talk about they're not sending their best. We're sending the Giants and the Panthers to Germany.
Well, it's not so much we're sending. By this point, we're going to exile them.
I think
we're just going to send them over there. You don't get to come home.
World War III may start because of this. Like, we keep talking about World War III is coming. It might be because we sent the Germans, the Giants versus the Panthers.
They don't know any better. They don't know. I mean, why would we send them the good stuff? When it's kind of like when I used to drive boats down on the river, and you'd have people coming in from all over the world, and they'd talk to the boat driver, like, "Where's the good Mexican food?" And I'd ask them, like, "Where are you from?" And they'd go,
well, West Virginia.
West Virginia. And you go, it doesn't matter. Yeah. You're not going to know the difference. So go eat up. It's the Germans, they don't know the difference. Sure. Carolina might be the best football they have ever seen.
Let me tell you about a place called Taco Cabana.
I'll tell you what.
We got 2 NBA matchups today, Rob.
Yes, sir. Let's do this.
Tipping off the season. The presumed top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference. The New York Knicks at the Boston Celtics. Celtics minus 5.5 total. 222.5. Any feel for this one?
Man, I like the 222.5.
You like over or under that?
Yeah, I do think over is just because I think there's going to be a lot of shots taken. I don't know. The problem is I don't know what the shooting percentage is going to be.
How's it in the NBA? Like I know in football usually it takes offenses a little while to catch up on defenses. So
it's the other way around.
Okay.
In basketball, defenses take longer than offenses to get together. Everybody can still shoot.
And then the Timberwolves are at the Lakers. The Timberwolves -1 on the road. 221 is the total.
That is a very strange number. When you think of where we expect the Timberwolves to finish and where we think the Lakers are, you don't think they can roll in to L.A. and you're only giving them 1.5? I think that's a new team. I wouldn't touch either one of these, to be honest with you. But
really?
I like the Lakers at home. They're going to, that's a very strange number, and I think the Lakers are going to live up to it just because it's a home game. But you won't see this again.
Your odds for the NBA Finals winner. Celtics, your favorite at +310. Thunder, +650. The Knicks, 8-1. Nuggets, +950. Timberwolves, Sixers, Mavericks, all 10-1. Bucks, 14-1. Lakers and Suns, 30-1.
Can I bundle those 10-1s? Can I take those 3?
Take both of them. Minnesota against Philly.
Yeah,
get one. Yeah, okay. San Antonio, 150-1.
That's bad money after bad money.
Yeah, probably so.
But if you get 150-1, you never say no.
You never say no, right? The odds to make the playoffs. This one is like so.
Let's go to those edge teams. This is where the money is. These edge teams, these ones that are make the playoffs with 36 wins or 35 wins.
Let me see if I can pull this up because this is a little bit different. To participate in play-in, is that what you're wanting to see?
This is where.
Now, mind you, if you say a team is going to make the play-in and they make the playoff, you're wrong.
Right, they have to be in that 6, 7, 8.
So the Houston Rockets in the West, +115. They're your favorite to be a play-in team.
I think that's what's next after that. Because I like that, actually.
Kings +130.
Ooh. See, the problem is the Kings, I think, are a playoff team.
That's the risk.
So something bad would have to happen for them to be there.
Lakers +135.
No, they're better than that.
Warriors +140. Pelicans +145.
So let's talk about
this. Is the problem. So many of these teams could be play-in teams.
So let's talk about the Pelicans.
Because Suns and Grizzlies are both +160.
And all of them have
None of them would shock me.
With the Pelicans, if they are there, that tells me that Zion ain't it. If they're in the play-in, that's C.J. McCollum and Herb Jones and all those guys. If they're not in the play-in and they're in the playoffs, that tells me that Zion was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if Zion's healthy, they ain't a play-in team. But if he ain't, they're definitely a play-in team.
Well, take this for what it is. These two teams have the same odds to make the play-in round. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Utah Jazz.
For very different reasons.
For very, very different reasons.
No, Utah, Cooper flag is printed on every shirt. It's on the inside. They got Cooper flag inside their socks. There's a little reminder where they go to the bathroom. Remember why we suck. His name is Cooper Flag.
And the NBA will reward Utah with a good white basketball player. Because
I'm saying it's possible.
I'm saying there's a religious organization that will make whatever donation is necessary to the NBA to make sure that Cooper Flag plays for the Utah Jazz.
It certainly has been Danny Ainge's waking dream for the last year and a half.
The Spurs, odd to make the play-in, plus 250.
Now, they're going to tell us all season long, at least on the outside, that it is a playoff chase. That this, we are now past the rebuild, or we're in the process of the rebuild, but it's now time to win. Dude, I think we're still a year out. Despite everything, and certainly we want to keep the timeline moving because we only have Wemby for so long, but we're not going to make the playoffs, man. And if we do, Wemby will be so far ahead of schedule, it won't matter about lottery,
How many games did you say the Spurs win?
I'm gonna say right at 36 or 37, and I'll be kind 37.
Okay. The number is set at 36.5.
Yeah.
The Vegas number is 36.5. So you're right there with them.
But the thing about it is, it could easily be 10 more games. It wouldn't shock anybody in the world if they showed up and won 43, 44, 45 games. It'll be such a great barometer. And I was telling AJ earlier that for those of us who follow the Spurs, they tend to start kind of fast. For whatever reason, they tend to win early games. I don't know why, especially on those years when we didn't want to. So I expect them to start fast. And if they do, you steal those early games in late October, early November, they still count as much as those in April.
Yeah. The Mavericks number is set at 49.5, which, I don't know, that might feel low to me. And then the other Texas team, the Houston Rockets, they are set at 43.5.
Vegas knows that's probably about what I just said with all of them. Although I think of all the teams in the league, the Mavericks have the biggest sway because they just can't afford it. If Luka misses any time, suddenly that 75% winning percentage goes to 60. I mean, just overnight, they're just not going to. Kyrie can carry him, other guys can carry him, but if there's any extended absence, they turn into Memphis. There's just not. He's that good.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I think that.
And speaking of, what do you think Memphis is going to do this year? Where do we expect them to return to?
I think they'll be a playoff team. I think they'll be like probably the 6th seed, the last team into the playoff that doesn't need a play-in round.
Do you think?
But they are. I love their team so much, but they never seem like they can stay healthy. They have the worst injury luck. It feels like, because I like Brandon Clark. I'm in love with this kid, Brandon Clark. Never on the floor. Jaren Jackson, never on the floor. John Morant, not injury necessarily, but never on the floor.
They could have. I think of that Memphis team from 4 years ago where they scared the fool out of Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
If they can just find a little bit of that because they're defensively better, and Zach Edey ain't going to change the world, but he's going to change Memphis. And I think that he's going to help them interior. That could be the biggest surprise team. That's not a surprise. They should be better, but I think they could be significantly better.
I'm going to ask you this for a bet. Victor Wembanyama to average 25 or more points per game. Minus 115.
No, he won't have enough minutes to do it. I think it's next year. I just don't think. I heard him say yesterday, I'm going to be on a little bit of a minutes restriction. I think that he's going to get enough opportunity to get 20 and 10, but 25 a night, that's a lot of minutes for a guy that probably ain't going to get more than about 35 a night or 30 a night.
Yeah, it does seem.
But that is certainly in the realm, man. I mean, he's gonna get 15 just falling out of bed. I mean, just being Victor.
But that's the thing about like guys that you load manage. If you would just load manage by game and not by minutes,
right.
But that's the gift and the curse because they're gonna the rules are gonna force them to play Wemby on some of these road games.
And again, think about where the Spurs are sitting. Say it's the middle of February, and you are in the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
But you could very easily not be in the hunt. So it's the last 2 minutes of a game. Wemby's tired. You could go win this thing. You're probably not going to be not going to get a higher seed other than you might get another playoff game. Is 2 more playoff games in a play-in as valuable as 4 more ping pong balls for the 5 or the 4 dudes that everybody in the world wants? I mean, we're going to have to do this cost-benefit analysis. Do we want Wemby to get 25, or do we want 4 more lottery balls? I mean, that's kind of the math we're going to be doing late in the year.
And there's only one person who has this prop, and it's Victor Wembanyama on DraftKings. To average 5 or more blocks per game in the regular season, you get plus 370.
Wow.
Now, last year he was at 3.6. 5 is a lot. I don't know. I think it's too much.
I think again, look at minutes. That it's just not going to be there. But
he was under 30 minutes a game last year.
Yeah, so he'll probably get maybe a few more. But 5 blocks a game isn't that far. I was going to say, you know what? I would expect 5 blocks more likely than 25 points.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. The most blocks per game in a season in history was 5.6.
And
that was Mark Eaton in 1985.
He was only 8 feet tall.
I don't think Wemby can do 5 a game. Not this year, at least.
No, I don't think there'll be enough minutes, but in a couple, it might be just the rigor, just the day.
Daily Lines brought to you by SA Card House, San Antonio's premier card house. Good job today, boys. We'll be back tomorrow for a humper. Blitz coming up at 2. It's Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville. 1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday night at 7:20. After a bye, it's the first of 2 road games. Dallas and San Francisco.